And hello!
Gay mindful. Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, I'll almost leak my backstory.
Oh my lord. Hi everybody, welcome to tonight's episode of Not Tales of Uranta! Hey, what's up? We are the Unnamed Few, guesting with our friend here, Brewing Scribe. Hello everyone, it's been a minute. The last time we streamed was in June. But we've all been busy, real life stuff happened, and that is what it is. But hello! Welcome to tonight's episode of The Lost Chronicles of Alweyr. This is a hopefully one shot, called The Prototype, and it's mine! Yay! So hi. I'm nervous as hell. But we're gonna do some quick introductions since we got a lot of new folks in the chat and a new group here. We're just gonna go around real quick, say who you are, what you do, and a brief glimpse of who you are playing. I will start. Hello, I'm Maroon. I am your lore keeper this evening. I'm an artist for Cubicle 7. I make a lot of portraits and all kinds of other property stuff. And yeah, that's what I do. So that's me. Hello. Let's start with Anton and go around.
Hi, I'm Anton. I play Enzo in our regular game, which we'll finish someday. But today I'm going to be a bad Swedish dwarf gunslinger that we will get to later. Well, I'll throw it to Lucy.
Sick. Hi, I'm Lucy. I am playing a terrible West Country halfling rogue, and I intend to ham it up, so don't you worry.
Okay.
Ex-pirate. Oh, I play Vigil in the normal stream. Angry tiefling man. Oh, yeah, Owen.
Hello, I'm Owen. I am normally the dungeon master, game master for the Unnamed Few Tales of Granta, and work in VR for a living, making games. Today I am playing Marcus Timberly, a strange fellow that once saw too much. That's me.
And Scribe.
Well then. Hello. I am the Brewing Scribe. I don't normally talk like that. But I'm a game designer. I do mostly tabletop stuff. I got a little bit of 5e homebrew, which I was I decided not to thrust that upon our wonderful lore keeper, because oh god, it is a lot. It is a lot. But today I will be playing Nilenya Zan, a half-elven mastermind rogue. That's really great.
Our party today is, in fact, 3 rogues and me on a rogue, but this heist is gonna go great. What else do you need? The rogues, they steal. It's in the class description.
Yeah, that's
Yoink.
true.
Yoink. Yoink indeed.
In fact, is it not too late? Can I reroll rogue? I feel kind of left out.
I mean, you can multi-class.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, multiclassing rogue. I've never done that before.
I have a brief question that might be slightly annoying. How many skill proficiencies and expertise are we supposed to have? I have 1 expertise.
5 total. 5 total
total.
skills.
Good.
With
One of them
of
expertise.
those has expertise.
I
We're
got
good?
it right. Good.
Everybody
I'm
all
good.
right?
I got it right.
Terrific. Okay.
Right.
I think that's everybody. Audio levels sound okay to everyone. It's like I said, it's been a minute since we did this, so it's been a while. Oh god. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've done this, so I hope everybody sounds okay.
Are we using a watch together or something?
Need Owen plus 10%. Yeah, it's the normal one.
Is that normal? Okay.
Alright. I have bumped Owen up to 180%. He was at 200. Hopefully he will be a little less quiet now.
Right.
Wait,
There we go.
isn't that bumping him down?
No. No, he
Oh.
was at 170.
I see. The Unnamed Few.
That's us. I'm having Anton control the music this evening because I only have so many brain cells, and I'm juggling a lot of things. So.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
I'll
Okay, I think that's everything. As long as our levels are okay and everybody's ready to go, I think we're gonna go ahead and dive in. We don't have any catchy theme song like some TTRPG streams, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into this lore dump because this is a homebrew setting. Yeah. So. Hey, and hear my heartbeat in my ears. Okay. The island kingdom of Esterby, which is where we all are right now, balances on the cusp of an industrial revolution. There is, as far as anyone can tell, no magic left in the world. It did not vanish suddenly so much as it trickled quietly away. Just a light dimming slowly over the course of many years. And then what little of it remained disintegrated in the stranglehold of the Iron, a contingent of militant anti-magic cultists who found sympathy with Hadelsbright's ailing and increasingly paranoid queen. Some argue that the Iron have brought peace and order to a once chaotic land ruled by the whims of the few elite who possess powerful magic. And anyone who's had the perspective to offer any real form of resistance has gone the way of the Fae. Vanished or dead. Once the Fae walked with mortals, and the portals between your world and theirs were left open. Anybody could come and go as they pleased. It said the Fae gave of their magic openly and shared secrets and stories as easily with strangers as they did with trusted friends. Every city in Esterby once held a yearly jubilee, a week-long festival of carousing, stories, songs, and joy. But as the Iron sentiment against magic grew in popularity, the Fae, shrank back into their glades, and one day, some 100 years ago, all of the portals to the Faebright quietly shut. No fanfare or farewell. Unfortunately, thousands of the Fae became stranded in Esterby, and maybe you were there, if you were one of those gifted with long life, like the dwarves or the now missing elves. The rest of you grew up with stories, told by your grandparents and parents, though it seems like these days no one talks about the old ways anymore. Almost everyone knows what happens next. The Iron hunted those Fae left behind to extinction in the name of safety and peace. The Fae and their bargains couldn't be trusted after all. Magic and its unpredictability couldn't be trusted. And after all, shouldn't the power in the world be in the hands of the people, not just a few with resources or innate talent? Many thought so. So, over the last 100 years, the Fae city of Aestengild, once a glittering bastion of proud crystal spires standing among the eastern mountains, has fallen to an empty ruin. The land around it lies dead and blighted, and so too the wizarding schools to the south, and their towers are gone. Students and teachers alike dead and or missing. The common tale. There is no magic left in the world. Everyone knows this. Hardly anyone seems to mind. In your lifetime, you've watched your world change. You've seen the forests and seas grow strange and hostile. The continent across the sea, Kinjara, has become a land of monsters and myth where no one goes. You've seen factories rise and great machines of steel and steam come to be, and slowly, Esterby forgets. Not just magic and those who created it, but the stories told at the Jubilees, the songs. All of the songs sung by the elves of the Rose Court, and all of the little customs and practices that we carry through faith and tradition, quietly fading into silly tales for the very young, the very old. It's not all bad. There are new powers now, and almost everyone has access to them. Instead of magic in the old ways, there's medicine and engineering, and it seems like every day a new invention or cure bursts from the cities around Esterby, and just about everyone can get their hands on some variation of whatever new gadget or gizmo enters the markets. Across Esterby, long tracks of wood and metal pave new pathways for stream-driven locomotives. There are indoor lights, sanitation, plumbing. Cities are astonishingly cleaner than they've ever been. Travel is easier and safer than ever, and trade blooms between various city-states across Esterby, and work is plentiful, whether in factories or farms, as the kingdom shifts and adjusts to a rapidly growing population and a new age of industry. And that is how the four of you have come to Tanby. Settled in the rolling plains of Esterby, and surrounded by vast wheat, cotton, and hemp fields, Tanby started off as a little village off the beaten path. Now, it's a roaring place of industry. Tanby itself is eclectic. A perfect grid, almost. Parks, factories on one side, residences on the other. And the residential district boasts multi-storied buildings whose meticulously painted terracotta roofs basically are a cacophony of colors against the bright sky. And in one of these parks rests a mansion, a venerable old structure whose tiled roof has been artfully painted with complementary swirls and fractal shapes that resemble roses. A red wooden bridge stretches out over a lake, which meets the mansion sitting at the end of it. It is, by all standards, a gorgeous spring day in Tanby. You have been summoned to the abode of one Lady Asta Tanby and her family, and you are expected. Who are you? What do you look like?
Interesting. I just want to add that, great intro, Arun. I just want to add that we killed all of the Fae and the magics disappeared. I'm sure that's not at all related.
Kill the batteries.
Okay. I can go first.
Sure.
We can say that. Well, I'm not gonna say how or when I show up because essentially, what the first of you, that's the next person to show up. I'm already there. And so, actually, you know what? Let's start with someone else. Who's the second person to show up? Describe your entrance, and then I'll describe who you see already there.
All right.
I like
You
that.
two want to do it?
I guess I can show up second.
Owen, I can't hear you if you're talking.
You did.
There we go.
What's our order here? I sense you're wanting to be last.
I mean, it's fine by me.
Okay,
I can go
Scribe, go
second?
ahead.
Okay. A half-elven woman kind of comes up. She's wearing relatively fine clothing. It's flowy enough to be elegant, yet the professional among you would definitely notice the utilitarian cut and form factor. It's subtle, but you can tell she is wearing some form of armor. In her hair, there is a little pin of onyx. And she's just kind of surveying the area with a lazy but struggling for a word here. A lazy but experienced eye. So what does she see?
Standing just outside the entrance, wherever is a reasonable place to stand and wait, where I don't look like I'm, well, where if there's any guards, they wouldn't get on my case, basically, is a tall-ish dwarf, approaching the high ends of the 4 feet height range, quite wide, not particularly in a muscular way, just kind of thick, and with brown hair, of course, in the dwarven braided beard tradition. He seems to be quite heavily armored, not quite full plate, but something close in that direction, perhaps a half plate or around there. And most interestingly, he has leaning on a on perhaps part of the stairs behind him, what can only be described as a small handheld cannon that looks like it could have been taken off a ship, perhaps, or a fortress's fortifications, and has handles attached at the middle and rear. Somewhat worryingly, on his hip he wears a much, much smaller and more reasonable pistol.
Oh yeah.
So I'll see you walking up, and since we have some familiarity with each other, I would know your name, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Which is, I'm sorry, I may have missed it.
It's Nalenia.
Nalenia. All right. Well, as I see you approaching, I'll give a quick wave and just go. Hey, Nalenia. Right? It's been a little while.
It certainly has. And she'll give you a cordial smile and a bit of a nod.
Okay.
Wonder what we've gotten ourselves up into this time.
I don't know, but elbows the thing behind me. I've got a new toy to play around with, so we'll
Oh.
I hope the others get here fast. I frankly can't wait.
I'm sure.
Around this time, Marcus approaches, not following a path. He clearly just walked straight across a green, perhaps ignoring a "Don't walk on the grass" sign or two. Clad in somewhat worn clothes that might have been the rage of fashion in the far north about 10, 20 years ago. Patched and heavily repaired. He's been out of business for a year or two, and something's happened to him, where his hair used to be sort of a rich red-brown, it is now shocked white. Facial hair, eyebrows, everything. He's pale, his eyes have paled. And there's an air of nervousness and uncomfortable aura about him. He approaches, waits until he's about 2-3 feet away from you, and just, hi.
Marcus?
You alright?
Is that you?
Yes, hi.
What happened?
Did you fall into a vat of flour on the way here?
Yes. Work.
Insight check.
Oh, first roll of the game. Let's go.
I always call dibs on those.
The first insight?
Dwarven
Where-
wisdom.
where his
Natural
charisma
1.
Might once.
Wonderful.
Oh, don't worry. Don't. I think there's still like a 25% chance he beat me on this.
What?
Where once his charisma might have been described as reasonable, the recent experiences in his life
Oh my god.
prove that even with your 1 7,
Unconcerned.
he clearly, yeah, no, he is uncomfortable discussing it.
Do you look older since when I last saw you, or is it just like the hair's gone
No,
white?
the skin is. He still looks like maybe sort of early 30s. There's a few sort of light scars and old wounds and things across. But hey, something happened. This kind of whole vibe. It's been a severe vibe shift.
Severe vibe shift is not the name of my favorite indie band.
Severe vibe shift.
But he's here. He's professional, and I don't have good social care up north, so he needs to work.
Fair enough. Given a couple more minutes of time, fashionably late, and talking to somebody else just like at the edge of the place before he hands them like 2 gold and like waves them off. You can see a very messy halfling, covered in like sort of like I'd say like a thin layer of like dirt. At some point, it's like it's like dirt and salt, like salt from sea air. He's got like a somewhat stained like white puffy shirt on, and like red trousers, and the end just above the ankle. He's wearing a pair of very worn shoes, and coming down the path, he's got this like bushel of like curly brown hair and like sideburns that go almost down to his chin, but there's a cut out of it here. And at his side, he's got a rapier, 2 daggers, and a short sword. Just a whole menagerie of small blades off to one side, and a cane that he's walking with. And there's like a little tattered hood on the back of his on his back that is like in better condition than the rest of his outfit. As he's walking up, he's looking around the place, being like, "I guess not bad, all right." Wanders a little closer.
Okay, go ahead.
Wanders a little closer to the group. His eyes just light up, and he goes, "That's the way the rest of you went. All right. How late am I?"
Did you have a cane last time we saw you? Is everybody
We
just
did.
getting old? Did you all go to the beach that makes you old? Oh my god.
The beach that makes you old. It's a fey beach. Yeah, I wonder if I had a cane last time. Last time it was a normal cane. This one is very shiny and brand new.
So is that a legit thing that you need, or is it like a disguise thing, or?
Oh, he just has a cane. He just likes having a cane.
He's
Oh,
just
it's like a
fancy
pimp
lad.
cane. Okay, I see.
Oh, man.
It's a power move. Of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right. How late am I?
Couple minutes.
Ah, it's just about right. Okay. I got about. Wait, what day is it? What
Wednesday.
day are we on?
It's Wednesday.
This is
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right. Right.
Right.
Wednesday. Okay.
Gained it there again.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. Okay. So who are we meeting again? We're meeting somebody in this little fancy. I mean, it's a fancy place, I have to say.
Lady Danby.
I do like the garden.
Can I help
Wouldn't go-
you? And there is a guard standing in the middle of the bridge, staring at all of you.
All right.
We're here to see Lady Asta Tandy, please.
On what business?
Oh, it's a private
Actually,
affair.
The business should.
Do you have an appointment?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right. You must be the noonday. Yes.
Does she expect multiple groups of 4 strange people with weapons per? All right.
Speak for yourself. I'm not that strange. I'm fantastic.
Sir, it's my job to interrogate whoever tries to come across this bridge. I'm sorry. Anyway, yes, you're expected. Please come in. And you
All right.
are all led across this bridge. The guard's carrying a pike very easily, but it looks like the spring air has kind of gotten to him. He looks like he just doesn't want to be here. Maybe a little sleepy. But he leads you to the ornate doors of Lady Tanby's mansion and lets you in, where you were greeted by a manservant.
Where can I, as I heft the fucking cannon on over one shoulder, where is you have a coat closet or something, or coat for coats?
We do have a weapons locker. Yes, it's right this way. And he points to your right, where there is a closet behind a darkened kind of wooden door, brass knobs, ornamentation, very pretty.
I just lean the thing in the corner and also set down a large duffel bag that makes several thunk, heavy thunk sounds on the wooden floor.
Right, yes, thank you. Please follow me.
Don't lose that. It's quite valuable.
Right. Marcus, would you mind escorting Lady Tanby's guests to the sitting room, please? Bella maybe looks a little nervous at the sight of a giant cannon in his house. Anyway, he shuffles off. And Marcus, supposedly, a manservant, maybe half dwarven, blonde
Marcus
hair.
has already started leading the group in a different direction.
No,
The wrong
wait,
way.
no, sir. My name is Marcel, not Marcus. Ugh, whatever. Sir, excuse me, sir. No, this way, please. Sitting room. Left?
Yeah, yes.
I didn't catch you, and you're human?
Yes, sorry, yeah, human. Yeah. She was talking through the door.
Right.
What are you
this-
talking about?
No,
What happened
no.
to you?
That's where, yeah.
Right.
Walks
this-
up to the door, stops, makes sure to go left foot forward first, and continues on following the servant.
Marcel looks rather unnerved because he has no idea what you're talking about. But you are led into an absolutely opulent parlor. This thing is ridiculous. You want to talk about the best fashion in all of Hadelsbright? It is here and then some. Floral wallpaper, gold-legged velvet settees, a coffee table with a glass top that's been etched, like sand etched in different like fractal patterns, like roses and lilies. It is just a ridiculous display of wealth. You are instructed to take a seat. Marcel turns to all of you, and he's kind of messing with the edges of his cuffs. Lady Tanby will be with you presently. I'll get you some tea. Can I get anyone anything to drink? Coffee, tea, cocoa, bit of gin.
Oh, gin. Aye, that's fucking great. I'd have one of that, please.
For the lady. We have wine as well, if that suits your fancy.
I'm struggling to think of a periodish appropriate cocktail.
Make one up. This world is
Sure.
empty. Fill it with things.
Highball.
Highball?
Highball. Fuck off.
Banana daiquiri.
Gin and tonic.
I'm already having gin.
Vodka martini shaken, not stirred.
If the lady is
That-
undecided, may I suggest a lily and rose flavored martini?
Come on now.
2 pours of whiskey, 3 dashes bitters, and a pinch of sugar.
Ah, yes, very good. And for you, gentlemen, looking between Marcus and Gerald.
Put sugar
Oh,
in the drink.
I let him go first.
I'm sorry?
It's fine.
I'll get you some water then. And for you,
Sugar too. If there's sugar, please.
of course,
Very expensive up north.
Master Bjorn. For you?
I'll take a large coffee, and I hold my hands apart to indicate something akin to a pitcher or a jug.
Yes, right away. Lady Tanby will be with you presently. And he just beelines out of the room, quietly closes the door behind him, and you are left to this ridiculously well-furnished, expensive parlor.
So what the fuck happened with you, Marcus?
Everybody, the guard said Marcus. Or am I hearing things?
The guard did call the manservant Marcus, but his name is Marcel.
Oh, the name was wrong.
Good. Good.
They don't already know you, don't worry.
Good.
They might know you a little bit. I think they know you a little bit because you're here. But I don't think they know you that well. What happened to you? Did you stick your head in like a like a sandbank or something on the way in. What happened to you? Come on, spill the beans.
No, I
Put the beans on the table.
tripped
No,
over in a
Put them in a
Wow.
bowl. I want to know.
mill. I tripped over in a mill. Job concert.
All right. In our line, we can have secrets, but you're not going to be a liability, right?
I can still do the work. Better than before.
All right,
No shit.
works for me, I guess. All the rest of you been doing? I never tale from Alweyr. What's happened?
How did
Shit.
you know?
Cannot understand.
Marcus just stares out the window.
All right, not for you. About the rest of you. Bit of bet.
Oh, just a little bit of this and that.
All right. Bjorn, how about you being the interesting one then?
Well, I will recount to fill the silence. If no one else fills the conversational space, Bjorn will just rattle on, and recount probably the last 6 months, and literally until he is interrupted or the servant comes back. Just telling about. Yeah.
Really? The whole thing?
Yeah, it's incredible. I never seen a man's mouth open that wide.
That's absolutely disturbing. Please go
Wait,
on.
I actually, you know what? Never mind. That's you're not supposed to say that in polite company, right? Sorry. Wait, you're not polite company, are you? Are you a
Yeah,
polite
be
company?
polite.
Nothing
Yes,
fucking polite about
no.
me.
I knew I liked you. Right. Good to remember. Good to remember. Weird times.
Your drinks. Marcel shuffles back in, sets a tankard of coffee in front of Bjorn. Nilenia's cocktail is brought to her, as is Gerald, and Mark gets a confusing array of things. It's a cup of tea, but there's also a bowl of sugar, and a bunch of lumps of sugar in a bag, and
Lump of sugar.
yeah,
Liquid.
yeah, it's sugar. It's real. Very nice.
I forget how rich people are.
And Marcel shuffles back out the door before anybody can ask anything else of him.
Hey, just
Gerald picks up the gin.
What's up?
Where we go?
just out of curiosity, since I'm the one with the fucking hand cannon, what sort of should I say combat capabilities are visible upon the three of you? You carrying weapons or
Knives.
knives?
Rapier, 2 daggers, short sword. Cane if you count bonking people on the head with it.
Okay.
You can see a rapier at Nilenia's hip, as well as a light crossbow kind of slung around her back.
Right.
Now, probably more like she's probably put it onto like the side of the floor, resting next to like her chair.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus has clearly, I mean, to a casual observer, no weapons, but
Oh.
to your keen eye, it's clearly a short sword under the cloak on one side, a hand crossbow squirreled away on the back, and sort of sat down how he is, you can see on the belt a number of crossbow bolts that are clearly homemade.
God.
Okay.
They're not the best, but functional, and seem to have had details
You're-
whittled.
You're just leaning into The Witcher. Like you got like alchemical crossbow bolts.
This isn't intentional. Oh no, they're normal crossbow bolts. It's just no. They look like they're made out of crap wood.
Yeah.
And
They don't do
By
anything
way of,
unless you're
dumpster.
underwater, in which case they one-shot ghouls.
Yeah. There is another detail which, in retrospect, I'm realizing leans into this Witcher thing more than I intended.
Silver sword and a steel one. Yeah.
No. It's there is
You're carrying a griffin's
metal
head.
spherical contraption on his belt that's clearly some kind of newfangled technological device, a marvel of innovation.
Does it explode?
Alright, rephrased, how hard do you have to hit it before it explodes?
No, you. Not in here.
Oh, so later
It's
on then. Is that for the
like
doorway?
fire. It creates smoke, fog,
Ooh,
obscuring.
Oh.
I
Rather
like
loud.
that.
They invented a contraption that creates smoke.
Without fire, I think. I don't know how it works. I stole it off a ship.
Nice.
Oh,
If I pull this, pulls it a little bit. Goes, smoke billows, pours out, and you can run away, hide. Things, Cry
dig
fire,
that.
guards. It produces a 60-foot radius, cloud, heavily obscuring smoke.
And if you keep
Okay.
it open, I think up to 120-foot radius or something like
I
that.
believe it does slowly expand. It's quite marvelous.
Mm.
That's very
Technology.
specific.
It came with notes.
Ah.
Would you
I
stay?
didn't-
Do you jump on weird? Do you jump on a really big, expensive ship and steal some shit?
I don't like talking about ships.
That's
Uh.
a shame because I like talking about ships.
Take you to bad places.
I've been to many bad places on ship, me lad.
I feel like you haven't been on a ship if you actually like them.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You're
Like he leans back in the chair.
Oh dear, not this again.
I'll tell you about the time, and then it's about to start going on.
And there is Gerald would launch into a tirade about how amazing ships are. However, the door opens behind you, and out steps a rather lovely woman. She's got an interesting combination of features. Maybe half dwarven, half elven. Delicately pointed ears, just peeking behind reddish coppery hair. It is perfectly, coiffed and braided. There's a whole lot of it, but it is just beautifully done. A little golden hairpin trailing glass rose charms down the side of her head. She's wearing a suit and a tailored suit coat and skirt of this shimmering kind of golden green fabric that shifts in the light when she moves. A little pair of gold capped heels. She is exquisitely dressed. Looks like she stepped out of a fashion magazine. And she looks to all of you with a flicker of recognition, and in the case of the halfling who's about to start in a tirade about pirate ships, a bit of exasperated fondness, but it quickly passes. And she smiles at you, and waits for you to stand, as that is polite.
I was already standing, but I'll just, as soon as she enters, do a quick nod and just go, Lady Danby.
Hello, Bjorn. It is good to see you. And this must be Nelenia? Miss Zan, how have you been?
Very good, she says with a smile, nodding as she gets up. It's been too long.
It has been. It's such a joy to see you. And Gerald, you were about to launch into some sort of story, weren't you?
I was. How are you doing then? Been a while.
It has been, yes. And Mark, you look... Are you well?
No.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that, but hopefully the proposition of a little bit of work will help you feel a bit better about things, yes? Everybody, please have a seat. Refreshments. Marcel will bring in some cakes and some little things for you here shortly. He has not disappeared. Marcel! Our guests, please!
Bitchin'. And then Gerald just sits back down.
Hey, what part of the world do people normally have accents like hers?
Good question. That's an odd thing about Lady Tanby.
She just make her own accent up?
No, she did not, but it's uncommon in your... You know what? Do you have any skill in history?
Absolutely not.
Anybody here have skill in history?
Is this
Nope.
considered a short rest?
I'm not proficient.
Curious where that's going.
if you are even remotely inclined, go ahead and give me a history roll. We'll see if anybody can identify this unusual
I
accent.
asked, so I will be remotely inclined and roll a 10.
Have we
East?
been sat relaxing before this
It's not even
conversation
an
and
hour.
what might be considered a short rest?
No,
Probably
it has
not
not
for
been
an
an hour.
Damn.
Millennia, you have no idea.
Then alas, I am not proficient in history.
You can give a think about it, maybe, if you've heard it somewhere.
Boom! I know stuff.
Wow.
Okay.
Carol doesn't care.
So we know you're a,
Mark.
you're a warlock.
Mark, you have heard this accent before, but not in this continent.
It gives me the bad vibes.
Oh yeah, it gives you the bad vibes. It is
It's slightly
faded.
uncomfortable around this one.
Her accent is faded, but you recognize her lilt as being from the northern end of Kindara. She must be older than she looks, because nobody's come from there in about 100 years.
Interesting.
So.
Well, we met our palm here.
Looking at her.
So, my favorite operatives, eh? Everybody have a seat. Please, please, don't stand on account of me. I know no manners, but it's lovely to see you. So thank you for coming. I have a job for you. That requires tremendous stealth and deception. And she scoops up a cup of tea. Where did she get that? Who knows? In one hand, and settles into a plush settee, crosses her legs at the ankles, and surveys you all for a moment. Galfus Industries has been working on a new prototype for an engine design. Very secret, very special, very hush-hush. And supposedly impossibly advanced. I want to know what they're up to, don't you?
It certainly is a curiosity.
I mean, I can be made to want to know something really badly if certain things happen that get sent my way. So I could really want to know, I could.
Don't worry, there is quite a bit of money for it.
And I'm interested. I really want to know.
If you are successful. So, I'm sure all of you already know, but my company, Tambi Motors, has long held dominance in the market for quite some time. I'd like for you to go to Calphus Industries, find these plans for this engine and bring them back to me. I will pay you, don't worry, 100 marks now for each of you.
You have moved me.
I'm sorry?
No, that's the money. Sorry.
Yes, that is the money. 100 marks for each of you. And 200 upon completion when you bring me back the plans. Provided you don't kill anyone in the process, you see. If you can scoop up any little juicy secrets Calphus might have kicking around, there will definitely be bonuses involved. So, keep your eyes peeled, eh? Like I said, though.
Right. So we're not supposed to stab someone, no? None of that.
Well,
I mean, only a little stabbing. Is that right? Just a little bit.
I
Point of
imagine
death is an issue, or
a little stabbing is alright. Just don't kill anyone. These are as to be citizens.
a gentle shanking is perfectly legitimate.
Fine bit of corporate espionage.
Well, yes. How do you think I have been successful for so long? I have excellent people working for me.
I was not judging, I was simply explaining to my friends.
This is the way of things.
These days, at least, it was not always so. Now, I cannot stress to you enough your discretion is deeply desired, and you must be, at all times, as much as possible, silent and unseen. If you get caught, well, I cannot help you, but, does this sound amenable? At least on first blush?
Sounds a little less fun than it were last time, but all right.
How much up front?
100 marks ahead? For each of you?
Do marks translate to gold pieces in economy?
They do.
Okay, so 100.
So that's
Okay.
10 platinum, roughly.
10,000 copper.
If you really want to go that way, yes.
100 now, 100 on completion.
200 on completion plus bonus if you find anything interesting for me.
I'll keep an eye.
It's not bad.
Oh, I need to go buy a club. Fuck. I'm only good at poking people.
Like
I-
a weapon or like an establishment?
No, I don't want a club unless the club can float.
Rocks, what is-
Your cane already kind of looks like you own one.
Oh, I could use it. I suppose I could, but like,
For
I kinda wanna
300, you
keep-
probably wouldn't get a very good one.
My
No.
friends,
Come on.
we can
can
sort
name-
out the details of your equipment after we have had a little chat, yes?
All right. What's the deal?
I'm terribly sorry, Marcus. You were saying something, but I could not quite catch it.
It takes a lot to kill someone these days.
Does?
We can stab a little, slash a little, shoot a little. I'll get better.
Well, come on, Ed, a little.
Exactly.
Certainly. Marcel, the map, please. And Marcel comes back in with a pile of things. He's holding a tray in one hand of food, which he sets down, and it's all just ridiculous delicacies: cookies, cakes, little ladyfinger sandwiches, a prawn cocktail. It is a definite display of wealth. There is nothing opaque about this. She is treating y'all to the royal treatment.
I grab a fistful of the charcuterie plate.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's fancy cheese and crackers and little knives, and it's just appallingly rich.
Well, I'll lean over to Bjorn, but you really shouldn't eat the food.
This is fucking good dwarven cheese, man.
It is. It's excellent.
Don't trust the food.
I'll take like a little, like, cake.
I think these might be from Harvenstad.
Some of it is.
I like the arm.
Oh yes, that
Okay,
is.
good arm.
That is from Eastport. It is fish ham,
How does that work?
smoked fish. I don't know. I don't make it. I just order it. It is delicious though.
It is. Do you put a pig inside a fish, or do you put a fish inside a pig?
No.
Make it fish ham.
So fish hammen, like turducken, yes.
That's better than turfucking.
Indeed. Unless you're the sort to enjoy that sort of thing, yes.
Oh, well, you get lonely on ships, but I'm not that lonely.
I wouldn't know.
Oh dear.
I've been on sea. I've been on land all of my life, so.
You're missing out.
Hmm.
Despite
How-
the fish fucking.
How are we getting to Calphis, Lady Tanby, if I may ask? Do we have a passage on the ship?
You will not be taking a ship, but a locomotive.
It's just like, we're going to Calphis.
Yes, you are going to Calvis, if you like.
That's where Calphis Industries is located, believe it or
3
not.
fucking weeks. From Calphis to here.
Not on the locomotive. It will be about. 2
Do I
days.
look like I can afford a locomotive?
No.
You're
breath,
working for
Marcus.
someone who can, dear.
Fine. For you, my lady, I would walk. I used to be better with words, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I appreciate the gesture. You seem like you have been through a lot, yes. You don't want.
There's
Take it. You don't want to talk about it. That's all right. Let us talk business then, and this delicious food. Thank you, Marcel. As for the matter of your transport, since Marcus was so quick to ask, yes, your train tickets there and back, actually. So don't lose them. There's one extra just in case you do. And she takes a little like leather folio from Marcus. It's got little brass caps on the end. It's engraved with roses and lilies. It is a beautiful, beautiful folio. And she just sets it down on the table.
I hold out my hand for the tickets.
Oh, then she hands them to you.
Are there names on them?
Yes? Yours?
I look at everybody's names. just to know.
Oh.
You son of a bitch.
All right. There's
Gerald Ironshins.
Yep. One is Nilenia. Have you shared your last name with Lady Tanby, Nilenia?
Probably have, yeah.
Okay. Then you have Nilenia Zan on one ticket, and then you have Marcus, whose last name I've forgotten. Timberly.
Yeah.
Timberly.
E.
And the last name, which if you spelled it as it's on the overlay, is actually spelled wrong. And Bjorn will go, in a joking manner to Lady Tanby. He'll be like, you actually spelled this a little bit wrong, but our language is difficult for a lot of people. It's fine.
Yes, you use the old method of Dwarven, yes?
Yes, the runes.
Yes, that is a little archaic, but this is the modern way now. They have come up with these fancy things called umlauts.
I don't think it's that difficult. I mean, it's just Bjorn Severmother, but I don't know.
This is Rune laughing, not Lady Tanby. She knows your name. Woo!
Had to drop it in character.
It's like Ingvar Holderson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, ancient history. So, here are your train tickets. So they have your names on them. There's one extra just in case you need to pick up a +1 or you lose one or whatever.
Oh, there's one extra ticket.
There
With
is.
no name on it?
With no name on it, right? Whatever you like.
I fold that up and put it. I have a breastplate, so I don't know. I'll find a pocket or something. Maybe even my kilt.
There are two extra tickets that are unnamed. So one to what looks like Harvenstad, and then one back from Harvenstad to Tanby.
Wait, oh, are we in Hadelsmid or are we in Tanby?
You are in Tanby.
In Tanby.
I will briefly flop to the combat map so that our viewers can see the map I slaved over that's not done. So yes, we are here in Tanby. Right there. This is Tanby. And this is Hadelsbreit down here. This is the capital city of Esterby. And then I will be deleting tokens. Excuse me, I forgot to clean those up. And up here, past this lake, is Kalfus. Your train ticket takes you from Tanby to Harvenstad. That is usually about a week of journey.
Probably a couple days on the train.
Marcus notes.
A day and a half.
A day, yeah.
Yeah, day and a half.
Wait, so does a train from Harvenstad to Kalfus, or are we?
There is a train that goes from Harvenstad to Finbar. And then from Finbar to Kalfus, you will be taking a carriage.
Okay, all right. It's probably about 3-ish
days of travel, yeah. So, Lady Tanby sits down, opens up a map. It is a fairly detailed map of a plant in Kalfus and the city of Kalfus. And I will swap this back to the RP layover. Actually, no, I'll just leave it there. So, entering the city of Kalfus, it won't be an issue. You'll go in under the cover of night, when the staff at Kalfus Industries is at their lowest number and the guard is at their sleepiest. My agents tell me that there is a roof access at the top of the building, and you can reach it by climbing across neighboring buildings. The nearest is an adjacent test lab, also owned by Kalfus, and she pats part of the map. But you don't want to enter from there. You will want to go from the south off of the this here, and she points to another building. This is a Mintebar Dairy. Has kind of a funny green roof. You want to come from there. No guards up there. And then once there, you hop down the access hatch into the ventilation shafts. Yes, sorry about that. It can't be helped. And you will want to be careful because some have poisonous gases, some have heat, you know. You need to make your way through those. There are tunnels alongside them, so you want to get into those as soon as possible because ventilation shafts are not for people walking around, yes?
Might be for me.
Perhaps for you, but your other friends might have a little bit of problem. So...
Sorry, I'll get in and open the door. Can I ask, why the fuck have they got poison in the vents? That seems like a problem, like, waiting to happen.
Well,
This is like, you know...
Well, I don't know.
Works if you're venting poison.
Or, you know,
That would make
hazardous
sense.
chemicals, you know, that you don't want your workers breathing. So I have never known Farron Telvistro to be very overly concerned about his employees.
Hard to make
I-
a profit if your workers keep dropping dead.
Oh, I thought you said there were poison things in the vents.
I have been told there are poison gases in the vents. You have to be careful. Maybe take a canary,
alright.
I don't know. Somebody who can smell that sort of thing.
Maybe they had a rat problem.
Or they're working on some sort of new chemical or weapon, I don't know. Calvus is involved in all sorts of things. Anyway, the top floor, mostly offices. It is a ring around the top, yes. And then a factory floor. Nothing with note. The offices don't have anything important in them. My agents have already been through that part. What I need you for is to get into the basement. That is the hardest part. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what you'll find down there. Except for, the plans, the engine perhaps, maybe some guards.
You got other agents. Are you seeing other people now? Oh no, you're gonna wound me. Oh, that's
My
not
husband and my wife will be very disappointed, I know.
Good. Oh, fuck. Alright.
Wait, did she mention other agents, or did Gerald just make that up?
No, she's mentioned other agents.
Oh, she said there might be other agents in the basement. She actually.
No,
She said
there
that
might be. She said her
previous
agents
agents
have not been able to get into the
People
basement.
go through the
Oh,
offices.
have not been able to get in.
Yeah, they've gone through the offices already. There's nothing important there.
But the previous agents returned, right?
Yes. They're not stupid. They did not engage in combat. They go in under the cover of night, look around, do a little scouting. That way, my more competent operatives like you can go in and do a bit more difficult work, yes?
Now, I'm not using insight as a lie detector here, but I would still like to roll. We've been talking to her for a while.
Yeah, sure.
Roll and get a vibe. And
Absolutely.
the first thing I'd like to know is whether that last part was true. If I do learn something.
I'd also like to vibe check. if that's
Vibe check away.
Vibe
So far,
check.
not the
So
best
yeah.
roll.
Round of vibe checks.
Vibe is a word that I, in principle,
Ooh.
don't like, but it is just so damn useful.
It's great.
It
Hey,
is a good word.
Marcus, you want to have a crack at that insight roll?
Sure.
You already don't trust her.
Yeah, I feel like that might. I'm pretty biased at this point. Insight. I have a 1 in that.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh.
Okay. Bjorn. Lady Tanby, in your experience in working with her, has always been pretty truthful. It doesn't do to lie to her employees. If something is dangerous, she usually tells you. And if she hasn't told you, it's usually because she didn't know. So, your overall grok of her, since you do work with her on a regular basis, is, probably telling the truth. You know, she's the head of a corporation. There's still some slipperiness, but you know that. Gerald and Nalenia, since you are not as familiar with Lady Tanby, you may be a little more inclined to see through the truth of things than somebody who is used to working with her. She is telling the truth, but she might be downplaying whatever is in the basement. Her agents did come back alive, as far as she knows. But yeah, this assignment, she's definitely laying on the charm a little thick to make sure that the temptation of money and reward is more palatable than whatever danger you might be facing down there. But she doesn't know what it is either. I gotta turn
Right,
down the music because I
alright.
can't hear shit.
Right,
go.
well, I had a little more of a question because my nose is twitching a little.
Yes, what is
We
it?
got. So, you're saying about this basement, right?
Yes. It's
You say you don't know what's fully in there, no?
It is Galfus's secret experimental labs, of course not.
Hey, but there's people you've been there before, and you told me they found absolutely nothing upstairs, like not even like a
Some
like a paper,
shampoo patents.
Wow.
Detergents.
That's I already got mighty good hair, so I don't need any of that. But
Oh, yours is lovely.
Oh, I
Alpha's
know.
Industries is notoriously secure. It wouldn't surprise me if they take such measures.
Marcus is correct. Farron does not tolerate leaks or insubordination from his employees. He is a very severe man.
Very good plumbers then.
What?
That was a joke.
Right. Okay.
Fuck's sake. Like shakes his head.
I know a plumber.
Did she name drop the boss of Kelphus
Yes,
Industries?
that is Farron Telfistra. And I will spell that for you. FERRINTELPHISTRA.
Farron Telfistra
Yes.
is the we'll say president of.
CEO, yeah, of
CEO,
Calphus
sure.
Industries.
Has he ever given like public speech?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a
Have
very
I heard
public
him
figure.
speak?
Hmm?
Have I heard him speak?
Yes.
Did he give me the bad vibes?
He did not give you the bad vibes other than being a slimely corporate tool.
Cool. Okay.
But generally,
Uh,
yes, but not that kind of vibe.
Have I heard him speak at all?
Have you been in Calphus? Calphus, excuse me, name of my own city.
I've probably been around a good bit to more or less everywhere. My
Sure.
line of work.
Sure, you've heard him speak. He's a corporate tool. Surface-wise, extraordinarily charming, handsome half-elven man. Kind of a prick to staff, and you know what that means.
He's elven.
Half-elven.
Huh.
There are no full elves anymore. He is half-elven.
Did you just assume he's Elven because Rune said he's a prick, or?
No, I heard Rune say the word elven.
He is half-elven.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was like, oh.
Maybe more 75% than straight-up half, by the way.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that would, he has a ancestry.com certificate being like,
Yes.
actually,
No,
75%.
he's done that DNA testing and
Yeah.
like paid full price for it just to prove that he has a whole bunch of elven blood.
23 in me.
Ancestry, yeah.
Other-
Those sites in
other-
this. I guess
Other
that's
DNA
not
tests
wizards.
are available.
Yeah. Steampunk DNA tests.
He is actually, since a couple of you have seen him, he is a rather tall, slender man in his looks like his 50s, but half elves. You never know. He has a sheet of white hair that fades into kind of salt and pepper, and then slowly goes kind of ashy at the bottom. It is perfectly pinned straight, no hair out of place. His eyes are brown, but you could swear they might be coppery or even gold in some lights if you've gotten close to him. Immaculately tailored suits, high collars. Yeah. He's kind of spooky looking, but incredibly well spoken and charming on the surface. So, so I have gotten your tickets for the northbound train to Havenstadt, and then you will need to take the transfer in Havenstadt station to Finbar. Make sure you don't miss your transfer. It is 20 minutes after you arrive, so the time between rail jumps is a little bit tight. You'll have to hurry. After you get to Finbar, you will take a carriage. I'm sorry, there's no rail there yet, but Finbar, middle of nowhere. And then that carriage will go to Calphus. You arrive there 3 days from now. And then when you get there, I don't know Calphus very well, and I don't have a lot of connections, so you may be on your own in terms of finding a place to stay there. But there are inns and things. I'm sure you are resourceful.
So we can
Oh.
stay there if needed.
That is very convenient.
You have a house
Nice
in.
Finbar.
I think Calphus.
I was born there. I grew up there.
Kelphus?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Right.
There you are.
Place to crash.
Place,
Yeah.
place to sleep.
Party at Marcus's.
So, for the rest of today, I recommend you go stock up on any supplies you need. I have an agreement with Sorka of Sorka's General down on Lily Street. I think you will find her quite amenable for anything you may need. I would advise you, if you've never been to Calphus, it is quite cold. This time of year it is quite rainy. So
See that Marcus is sweating in his fur-lined cloak
Hmm.
and thick, warm winter clothes
it
that he
is.
wore here.
Yeah, you are warm.
Yeah.
It's north colder on this map.
North colder on this map. The warmest it ever gets is like London in the summer. So think
Sure.
semi Irish climate ish kind of
Mm.
sort of. It gets a little more tropical towards the south, more like Spain. So like Hadelsbright is actually really gorgeous this time of year. Um. Oh, by the way, lodgings here in Tandy, they are already paid for. You'll be staying at the Oriat House on my treat. And that will be on Marigold Avenue. I am sure that Bjorn can take you there. Um, and Bjorn, you've probably, if you've worked jobs for Lady Tanby, which you have been put up in the Oriat House. It is, like everything Lady Tanby does, a gorgeous, expensively furnished, beautiful inn on the edge of town.
Um, I have a question about Lady Tanby.
Yeah, sure.
How many times has she given us this kind of royal treatment on a job before?
I think you've worked for her a time or two before. Um, Getting a job from Lady Tanby is like winning the fucking lottery.
Hmm.
So
So
this
she's
is normal
always
for
like
her.
this.
This is normal
Okay.
for her. Yeah, she treats her like professionally, since you are all professionals. Lady Tanby has an impeccable reputation for paying on time, in full, and sometimes more than she offered initially, especially if you bring back something interesting. Working for Lady Tanby is great. And for the most part, she's never given anybody any kind of cause to basically doubt her or think that she's trying to pull one over on you. She pays her employees extremely well. It is a well-known point of pride for her. Because, as she said to all of you in the past, well-paid employees, they keep their mouths shut and they do a great job. There's no reason not to pay people what they're worth. And you are all professionals, so. Sorry, not Palmier.
Oh no.
So, I would love to stay and chat with you. It has been too long since I've seen you all, but I actually have another meeting she looks across the room to what is a spectacular grandfather clock with stained glass panes and painted cherubs, and it's just, like I said, ridiculous. 15 minutes, and I do need to freshen up a little bit, but, I always love working with all of you, and I look forward to, what you may bring me back, yes? Do you have any other questions before we depart for the afternoon?
Seems pretty straightforward. Get in the basement, steal the motor designs or anything else good we find.
Exactly. In and out.
Am I guessing any thoughts or opinions from my companions?
Oh, yeah. They've been real quiet, actually.
Mm.
They've been, you tend to have two at most, but one, the helpful one, is settled with her chin on your shoulder, watching Lady Tanby. She looks at you, looks back to Lady Tanby, tilts her head at you, doesn't say anything.
He does a simple grunt that tells 1,000 words and makes ready to leave.
Your companion looks at you again, turns her attention back to Lady Tanby, pats your shoulder, and steps backwards into your own shadow and vanishes. You sense
Lady.
approval.
Lady, damn you.
Yes?
If I could have a private word briefly.
Yes, of course. It will have to be quick, maybe 5-10 minutes. Is that all right?
I'll take up your time.
Of course. Marcus. Anything. Would the rest of you mind stepping away for a moment, just outside the door, if you don't mind? And it was lovely to see you again, Lady Nalenia. It is always a pleasure. Gerald, stay out of trouble or get into good trouble.
Why always get into good trouble? Dirty Sparrow's still offshore. Then he picks up some cheese and makes for the door.
I'll wait for.
Nalenia will
Go ahead.
kind of just leave as well.
Okay.
Bro, you've gone very quiet. All
You
of a sudden.
have, yeah.
Oh, you're talking away from
Oh.
the mic. That's why.
I am talking away from the mic.
Yeah, there we are. There's Brew. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I just Nolenia will just kind of leave. She'll finish her drink and then kind of place it back on like probably like the serving tray
Sure.
to be to be polite. And she will evacuate the room.
I'm not sure. I'm just gonna wait for Anton to come back real quick because because since we're kind of scene transitioning, I don't want to like leave him behind. Oh, his hair looks really nice.
Yeah.
Anton, welcome back. Marcus has asked for a moment of Lady Tamby's time, and Lady Tamby has requested that you all leave the room. Does Bjorn leave?
Totally.
Okay, cool.
I'll take the half-finished pot of coffee and just a handful of food with me.
Sure, she doesn't mind. At all. Alright, we will see you when you come back. Marcus, come here, please. And she closes the door behind the rest of you.
He steps closer.
What is it, my friend?
When we return,
Yes?
I'd like to request the opportunity to have a long conversation with you and a request for aid, perhaps.
Are you in some sort of trouble?
I went east.
How far east?
Far enough. I came back. But you, I think, can help.
It's been a long time since I have been home. But I will help you if I can.
Did you see her?
Do
On
you?
my shoulder. While we were talking.
No one, Marcus.
Okay. You don't need to pay me for this. Just the conversation.
You will be paid. Even you need money. Marcus, you are my friend and you are a professional. You will be paid. That is my way. If you do not want the money, give it to someone else who needs it.
I'll take it.
Good.
I will not take any more of your time.
Be careful, and we'll talk when you get back. I'm a little concerned for you. Marcel, if you would bring our friend's money, please. I forgot to mention it. Everything we agreed upon, of course. Be careful, Marcus. The world is not as it was. And she steps away.
No. Walks out.
How much did I hear, Rune?
Ooh! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Were you standing at the door?
I closed the door behind me and then just stood outside it.
That's a fucking
drink.
good roll. Yeah, there's a little crack in between the seam of the door frame and the door itself. Just a little tiny hair of a crack. You heard most of that. Maybe Marcus was a little bit hard to understand, but you got the gist.
Marcus is light on his feet. When he approaches the door, I don't know whether it would be a case of like I open the door
Open into me.
slightly sooner than you realize. I'm like, hi.
You perhaps did not see the perception. Well, you didn't because I GM rolled it. But the perception check I just rolled. Let's just say I get out of the way of you approaching the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God dang.
Oh yeah, I didn't put my expertise in stealth, so.
And as the door starts opening, I once again start shoving food in my mouth, which I was not doing for the duration of that because I was listening intently.
Damn. Okay.
Now, as they're like coming out, now what's it gonna take to get Oligo on the Dirty Sparrow again? Because that one time was That one time before was great, but I want to do it again sometime, and this time I think I found a better route. Route? Is it route or route? Either way, I
Continue.
think now I've got another thing lined up after this one. It's going to be a lot louder. So, if anyone's down, let me know.
We haven't started this job and you're thinking about the next one.
Say fucking don't you?
Mm,
It pays to be busy.
no.
It does pay to be busy, especially in my line of work. Way I hear it,
Indeed.
Urbanstat's got some interesting shipments coming in a little months, a couple more months' time, I think. Either way, I'm going to be back there soon, and I plan to be in the way up near the North Wall. Well, a little farther away from the North Wall. I don't want to get all the weird shit on it, but, you know, we could try.
Might take you up on that offer.
That's what I like.
Dangerous place.
Marcus,
Oh, yeah.
there is a whisper at your ear.
Mark completely removes himself from the conversation and just sort of cocks his head slightly.
You shouldn't go back. You don't want to go back. And they shouldn't go either.
Which of us is the sharpest eyes and ears?
I got an eye for people.
Asks question in a diegetic, in-universe way to have a discussion on skill set. But in terms of, like, mechanically, insight, perception...
Alright. Mechanically, I went expertise insight because I need it for my inquisitive class.
Yeah.
I am rather good at both. Perhaps even very good at perception.
I'm actually mostly in a social context. I have
People-facing role.
persuasion.
Okay. I will turn to Bjorn then, and you should keep an eye out. North is a dangerous place.
I wanted to discuss that actually. Train to Harvenstadt? You heard of anything? Is it safe?
I won't. But that was an issue of poverty, not distrust of technology. Plenty of rich people get offered to steal from, rob, but you know, good supply of work.
It seems like never taken a train before. It seems like the easiest carriage to ambush. It only goes in one line, and you know exactly when it's coming. And it's full of people. It's like 20 carriages.
It's a bit
Awesome.
fast though, isn't it? You
Awesome
can't run a
car.
ship alongside it either.
Yeah.
Run
Do,
horses.
A horse and car.
do they have cannons or anything? That's what I would do. I'd have a cannon train. What do they call it? Car? Train car at the front and one at the rear.
The problem with cannons, you have to adjust for wind resistance. You have to
105.
adjust for the amount of powder you're putting in too. So if you're moving at the same time as like making it into a ship metaphor instead, it just starts drifting away.
If you drop a cannonball off the back of a train at 60 kilometers per hour,
Will it kill someone? The answer is probably yes.
Yes,
Depends
absolutely.
how far you throw it.
we could invent tying someone to the train tracks.
Oh no.
You could beat
Pretty
up-
sure.
God.
You pull the lever.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The friendly voice in the back of your head, Marcus, confirms that throwing a cannonball off the back of a train will in fact kill someone. Very efficiently.
It says with a confidence he shouldn't have. Yes.
Bjorn says nothing, but goes to the corner to heft the cannon over his shoulder and pick up the duffel bag over the other.
Marcel comes out to find you again with a platter, and on the platter are a bunch of velvet bags. Each of them has 10 decimarks inside. Platinum.
Mark is
Platinum 10.
decamarks then, right?
Decamarks, yes. Sorry. I'm used to a different pronunciation, but decamarks, not decimarks.
I think decimarks would be a tenth.
Decimark would be a silver.
Yeah,
Deca.
silver,
Deca rather than deci.
Yeah. Decamarks.
Yep.
There should be a cool name for him, just like how everyone calls, I don't know.
British pounds, quid.
Yeah, exactly.
They
I like
are
that.
sometimes known as a demark.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Demarks are
Or
basically
just like
platinum equivalent.
dims or something, maybe. Dems.
Marks are gold. Silver is just coin.
Right. Speaking of
So
wait.
mark like a new currency. Comes you like the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
This is a needless law question, but has there been an economical redevelopment with the invention of the
Yeah.
Imagine fiat bank.
Wait.
Yeah, I mean you can print money now, so marks
Yeah,
are paper.
thanks,
Well,
I'm
fabricy
right.
paper.
So it is paper currency that we're being
Yeah.
handed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fabricy paper currency.
I put it in my wallet next to the train tickets.
There is a gold, a thin ribbon of gold, actual gold, running down the side of each,
Security feature.
and then a band of platinum next to it. It is actually thread that has been woven into the fabric.
That's cool.
Thank
In
you.
100 years, we'll start making them out of plastic.
They will.
Yeah.
Not far off.
Ah, interesting. 100 Speaking of, while we're on the gold discussion, what were we supposed to start with? 2 uncommon magic items and
Meh.
just the 15 gold and the...
Sure.
suitably fitting equipment?
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But now you have 100 gold
Okay.
decamarks, 10 decamarks to spend in the city of Tambi for whatever you need. I will not waste everybody's time with a shopping thing. Whatever you need to get, just go fucking get it, unless it's something absolutely outrageous and then run it past me.
I'm gonna buy
Are we
a
using-
forgery kit.
So yeah, forgery kits, rope, grappling hooks, whatever you need.
We're using the mod... Wait, there's no healing potions, are there?
There are not.
Ooh.
Is there any sort of non-magical healing available with medicine or something
Yes.
like that?
Yes, there are. There are healing poultices. I'm sorry to say they are 1d4 flat.
How do they work? You just use them?
Slap them on. They are a bandage with a wet bandage compress with some goo on it. Looks maybe like rudimentary antibacterials.
Huh.
Smells like God's anus. But
Right.
but it does work,
Holy.
and if you get a bad cut, it can save your life. So if you need
How
to
much
buy
are
a couple
they?
of those, they are quite expensive. They're what is basically about 10 gold a pop.
Oh, okay. That's
For
single
commoners, that would be extraordinarily expensive. For y'all, obtainable, but you're not gonna. So
Is
if
that
you
single-
go ahead,
Sorry, is that single use per or
yeah,
is
single
that,
use. They're like healing
okay,
potions,
okay.
so they're 1d4 flat, but
10 gold.
yeah,
Getting 2 of them.
okay,
Yep, I'm also getting 2.
I might get it. I might get
1d4
two as well.
flat, you said, yeah?
yes,
Are these, are we using Owen's bonus action, heal self,
Yep.
main action, heal someone else?
that's fine by me.
But
Well, the one you use, Owen.
It's in the
That's
game.
sort of this yours, yeah.
Yeah, your Ronton rules on that one apply. So scribe, you can apply a bonus for a bonus action. You can heal yourself.
Mhm.
For an action, you can heal someone else in combat.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the same rules I use.
Yep.
So easy.
it just makes sense.
It does. It's nice.
I bought 2. What else is magic equipment in general is not available, so there's no potions.
There are medicine kits, just sutures, threads, needles,
They do anything?
bandages. They'll keep you from bleeding to death. If
Oh, so you can healer's kit stabilize someone, I presume.
Yes.
The 5e healer's kit?
That's the. I haven't come up with a better name for it, so yeah. So your healer's kit is still
Which is that
existent.
worth?
First aid kit, maybe.
Yeah, basically.
How much? Are
In
they?
theory, I could gain proficiency in healer's tools and get a healer's kit.
Oh, is that how it works? You need proficiency in healer's tools?
Well, I mean, do any of y'all know how to sew a wound shut?
Healer's kit. I'm trained in medicine.
Oh, that's cool.
Healer's kit costs 5 gold. 10 uses. As an action, you expend 1. Oh, you just stabilize without a medicine check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those unfortunately don't do any raw healing.
No,
But
no,
they
no,
will
it's
keep
fine.
somebody from dying.
I'll have one of those on me.
Since
I'm
there are
carrying
no spare the dying spells anymore.
85. So I'll buy a healer's kit.
Cool.
I am buying the following: 2 healing poultices, 10 flasks of oil, a hooded lantern,
Okay.
and the equivalent of some matches.
Sure.
Tinderbox. There we go.
Great.
Because nobody said that a fire couldn't kill people.
Yeah. What is there in the range of alchemist's fire, bombs, gunpowder stuff?
Those are all real limited. Those are things that you would have to go down to the Fern Armory to get.
Could have totally played an artificer.
That would have required a lot of wishy-washy
Squishy.
rule bending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the alchemist fire, or your equivalent of like road flares, gunpowder, stuff for bullet casings, all of that is at the Fern Armory. And they know you. So if you need to take a trip down there, that's at the... Actually, I have a map of Tambi. Let me pull that up for y'all.
There's 50 gold for 1d4. Woo!
There you go. Okay, so here's Tanby. Let me swap so the audience can see as well. Please hold. And there you go. This is Tambi. So the Fern Armory, is right here on the outskirts of the town. You were just here in Lady, Asta Tambi's mansion.
Jesus, right in the middle.
And then, yeah, it's an old town. And then, the general store is like here-ish. And the Oriat house is this giant building over by the, Fern Armory.
It's only 70 feet across. Is this a town for ants?
It's called, I haven't learned how to do scaling in Roll20 yet.
It's fine.
So, yeah. I'm trusting y'all, just don't take the piss with the stuff you buy. Anton, if you want to go grab, gun stuff, it'll be down in the south.
A question on
Yeah.
the uncommon items.
Mhm.
With death and magic in this world, are they technological innovations or are there still objects that
There are still objects that hold magic. They are fading, they are rare, and eventually, after a long period of time and a lot of heavy use, they do actually stop working.
So, the things I picked up, Rune, would they be considered magic or just considered very useful?
What do you get?
Like, I got Cloak of Elvenkind and an Immovable Rod.
Both of those are magical. You got real lucky on a score at some point.
Fine by me.
Yeah, the Cloak of Elvenkind would be Fey in make, and its magic is, it's still holding, but you get the sense that if you were to wear it a lot and get it torn up and muddy and all that stuff, that it would stop self-repairing and stop hiding you as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I have the everlasting smoke.
Yep.
Thing, which I'm I think in my head.
That's technological, yeah.
It seems like it could be technological.
Yeah.
The other one I have are a pair of boots that I think I only be justified with magic. So I think similarly.
They boots are jumping.
They are not. They are jumps of. What's it?
Jumps
I
of
wrote
booting.
boots of booting. No, they're boots of. I wrote it on my sheet. Striding and springing.
Yeah, those are faintly magical. Also Fey make.
They do triple my jump, and being encumbered doesn't influence my walking speed, so load me up.
Your friend may have pointed you to those while you were out east.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I've got a headband of intellect and a hat of disguise.
Both very magical. Fey make.
Yep.
Oh, I saw Headband of Intellect, and I was like, oh.
I was like, standard array. I'm happy to take a 19 hit, please. That's
Yeah.
fine by me.
Anton, what was your other item? Sanity.
It's my weapon, and the one I told you about yesterday, the gloves.
Yes.
Which actually, if it's okay, can I use a belt slot instead, just so I can have cool fingerless gloves?
Yeah, it's fine. That's totally aight. Your gloves are dwarven make. They are magical, but they are definitely dwarvish.
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the magical artifacts left in the world were made by the Fae, or by the elves who are basically Fae. But there are a few dwarven craftsmen who used to make magical artifacts as well. Where they are, who fucking knows? But you guys are having, like, these are unique in your world to you. So you will not find, like, a drawer with a bunch of headbands of intellect in them. There's one, and you've got it.
Maybe my belt's a family heirloom.
Could be.
That's cool.
Maybe my cloak was somebody else's family heirloom.
Likely. So,
Okay.
all right.
I before we continue, Rune, I have a quick question.
Yeah. What's up?
I want to try and get some materials for copying copying things down.
Okay, so like paper and
yeah, but
fancy ink.
Yeah, like inks or anything that
Carbon
could
paper?
maybe carbon paper.
Carbon paper is a thing.
Just stuff where I can take copies of stuff without, taking things to, keep up cover and all that sort of stuff.
I would say that's
what
covered
sort of
in your forgery kit.
In my forgery kit. Okay.
Yeah, so basic paper, fancy inks, a good display of nibs and alcohols and whatever you need to...
Perfect. Okay, so that's covered then. I wanted to know if I need to get anything extra. Thank you.
Nah, forgery kit I feel like covers that. Also, various stamps,
A little bit of wax.
Yeah, wax sealing stuff, that's still a thing. People still like to seal letters with wax. Anybody else need to do anything in terms of shopping before we move forward?
Am I forgetting any standard 5e stuff that every adventurer needs? Not really.
Candles, rope.
I mean, I kind of assumed
I have
Glory
a
had a
rope.
backpack full of 50 feet of rope and
Yeah.
I
No,
picked up
actually-
my standard equipment pack. So I got crowbar, hammer, pitons, rope, tinderbox. I bought another tinderbox.
I should do
Torch, silk rope as well. Thieves' tools, healing poultice, 10 flasks of oil, hooded lantern, and a grappling hook.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna take the standard fighter equipment.
a second set of thieves' tools in case first one breaks on the job.
What's a
that's
Dungeoneer's
clever.
pack?
Also, slight bit of errata.
Mm.
Nalenia actually has a short bow, not a light crossbow.
Alright, adjust damage rolls accordingly.
Yeah, no. It was all correct on the character sheet. I just did a little messy uppy in my
A little fucky wucky.
flowering about. Yes.
Is it safe to say any tools I have proficiency with, I can say I had with me?
Yeah,
That's
that's totally
fair
fine.
as well.
Yeah,
I've
if
got my
that's the case,
navigator's
I
tools
will,
as well.
I'll give myself another 25, or not 25, 15 gold back.
Yeah, Sorcha is happy to supply you with whatever you need at reasonable prices. So
Okay, so I have a water vehicle with me then. Which one?
you what?
I'm proficient in
sailor,
water
I think.
vehicles.
You have a. Are you
I'll take
carrying it?
A galleon?
Spanish galleon.
You're taking the piss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you really want a kayak, I can probably
Fine,
give you
I'll
one.
take a Karak. It's all right.
No, Rune. You should just give him one oar. That's it.
Give me
One
a paper, like a paper sailboat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's your water vehicle. Yeah.
You have a ship in a bottle.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hey, we've established the Dirty Sparrow is somewhere offshore, just being busy.
If you would like a ship in a bottle, you may have a ship in a bottle.
No, I'm good. I was joking. Don't worry.
All right. Are we good?
I'm gonna buy some manacles.
Sure. I don't want to know what you're going to use this for, except I have to because I'm the DM.
You know,
Welcome to
Heck.
my world.
irrigation. It's fine.
All right, so manacles.
Would like to buy. I think it's technically a common magical item, but it could very easily be a marvel of technology.
Mm.
A pole of collapsing. I believe it's a 10-foot pole that can collapse into a 1 foot. I want a telescopic 10-foot pole.
You can get a telescoping 6-foot pole.
Okay, cool.
It is made out of bamboo. It's whippy and bendy, but careful about breaking it.
Yeah, it's a poking stick. It's for poking
Sure.
things.
Sure. Last call. Everybody good?
Yeah. I already gave 2 gold to my swab to go around town and do things.
Sure.
You never
I
want
had
to
the money
enter
refunded.
a dangerous
Before
place
we
without a halfling and a 10-foot pole.
before we leave, I did want to have a conversation with my party. Well, party.
Sure.
First of all, Rune, our train tickets are for tomorrow. Is that it?
They are for tomorrow morning. Bright and early. Really
And
bright and early.
Tonight we're staying at
The
Lady
Ariat
Sammy's
house.
Ariat House. Was that? I was probably staying there already.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, you might have a room there if you're in and out a lot. It's real nice. Food's great. Beds are soft. No lice.
You been to this place before? It's
Got
fucking
toilets.
it's pretty rich.
On occasion, it's nice to treat yourself.
I went into the window once. Does that count?
I'm going
Yeah.
to go with no, unfortunately.
I
How does
usually
that
go
not
through
count?
doors.
I've been inside.
You've been inside, but you haven't had the proper treatment.
Well, give me the proper treatment then, fucker.
No.
Oh wait, we got one. We got a room, haven't we? There
Yes,
we
we
go.
haven't. Yes.
Yeah, I've been
So
there.
I have been inside, and now we're going proper inside.
I
Yeah,
got
exactly.
in town a couple of days ago, so Lady Tenby's been hosting me there, and it's every time I work with her, it's a fucking treat to stay there.
Really is.
Indeed.
You like
Oh,
the florid description of the inn?
As we're walking through the streets,
Mhm.
I check that if anyone's following us, quite literally.
Give me perception, please.
I will roll it publicly now.
Thank you.
Oh, did I? Wait, that just didn't roll.
Side note, Rune.
Oh.
Is a hand crossbow 75 GP? It says so in the book.
Nah,
Hand
and not
crossbows are
from not from Sorcha.
Okay, how
20.
much is it?
Sorcha, I'd give it to you for 30.
Sick, thank you.
20 for
hand
perception.
crossbow.
You are not being followed, except by a bird. There's a pigeon that's real interested in something about your hair.
As we're walking down the street, after what I just said, I also add, and by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if there's ears in that lodging that we're given, but if you're okay with that.
There's
I'm
ears
sure it'll be fine.
everywhere.
Sleeping in comfort's more important anyway, because I'd like a good night's sleep.
Sure, just don't start plotting to betray our employer in those rooms.
Oh no, I wouldn't do it here, I'd do it somewhere else. But I'm not gonna anyway.
No, why would
She
you?
pays well.
Aye, she's alright.
There's a reason why she has such a good reputation. It's because she knows that there is nothing worse on this world than unscrupulous types like us feeling betrayed.
And she'll probably pay you double what the betrayer would have paid for information about who's betraying her.
That too.
That
It's
is
just
factual.
good business.
Well, you know, it's good business to keep us in your employ. You got Bjorn here with his loud things that make people very, very sad when they hit them. You've got Marcus, who now looks like he's a big fan of just, headbutting, those like white stone walls. Like I've been a big fan of those for a while. And you got you with all your grace and everything, but they got me with the actual ship and all the resources and all the charm and charisma.
Have you told us you own a ship?
Yeah, he's mentioned it numerous times. It's the Dirty Sparrow. It's a small pirating vessel.
Okay, so you're an actual goddamn
I
pirate.
do have bad reputation, by the way.
Yeah.
As my background feature.
Actual. So you went from playing a pirate to playing a pirate. Nice.
I went from incompetent tiefling to competent halfling.
The dirty sparrow.
Yeah, the dirty sparrow.
Everyone's got their character type that they like to play. I've got a player who
This
just
is only my
enjoys
second
lizards.
time ever playing a pirate. I just enjoyed it.
Hey, once you're just like, hey, pirate's life for me. I get it.
Gar.
Once you go piratical, you never go badical.
Any other stuff you guys want to discuss before we leave Tanby?
I think Marcus is content to wait until where do you go?
Right,
Did
I
you
don't know about the rest
say-
of you. I'm gonna go get a drink.
So you're going for a drink?
Oh yeah.
I might join you on that.
Yeah,
Hey.
why not? These
Marcus, are you
rooms are well
following us or are
guarded.
you fucking off?
Come on.
I'll follow.
Alright. I will go and find a good place. I know this place, sort of. Maybe. I'll find one.
Oh boy. So there isn't a, gosh, what was the role in Pathfinder? Is it... What was that role? Gather information or something?
Diplomacy, persuasion, or
Let's go ahead, and Gerald, let me get a persuasion roll for you. See if you can find the best establishment in Tambi for our night out.
I'm great at persuasion with my +0 bonus. With a 15 naturally, I'm pretty
15.
good anyway.
Not bad. Not bad. You are directed to the bloated stoat.
Excuse me.
Nice.
The bloated stoat.
Okay.
they call it the bloated chode in many parts.
It is, in fact.
Oh my god.
It is a it is a well-known drinking house for rough and rowdy individuals. It is a good time, if not a clean time. You don't want to sleep there, but the alcohol is strong. The barmaids and barmen are reasonably attractive if you're into that sort of thing, and the food, you probably shouldn't eat it. Just saying.
I don't go in there or eat. I don't know about the rest of you.
It's never removed disease in this world, so be careful with those
true.
barmaids and barman.
I hear
Well, I know what I'm
just
getting.
building the ceiling last year.
All right. I don't know how many of you remember how to have a good time, but at this point, if you open something and the back of your neck starts to hurt, then it's something good to drink. All right. That's the right stuff. If the wall starts to peel, that's a bonus.
Oh, good lord.
Hey, I got this shit, so I'll be fine.
It's true.
So, in the interest of expediency, because we're about halfway through, well, I would love to listen to y'all bullshit in a bar for 30 minutes, because you're fascinating people. You have a night out, and it's great. There's a lot of alcohol. Does anybody not drink? Okay, Marcus, you don't drink? All of the rest of you, do you have whatever the hell Gerald is giving you?
Yeah, basically.
Reasonable amount.
Alright,
Marcus,
Reasonable
used to be
amount
a
for a
party
dwarf,
animal.
maybe.
what, Owen?
Marcus, I think Bobby used to be a party animal.
Not so much now, yeah.
No.
No, your friend settles in, over your shoulder and just watches the night with interest. The rest of you, gods know what Gerald gave you, but I need con saves from everyone.
I have
Let's
advantage.
go, baby.
Oh god!
Oh,
Oh,
Do I have
buddy!
advantage from Dwarven?
You do.
resilience?
You do.
oh no.
Wow! Alright.
We had the same bottle. Same bottle.
Alright.
Apparently.
Anton?
23.
Alright!
Let's
So,
Dwarves have
Marcus.
5 livers.
And we'll take a break just after this. So, the next morning, you awake in your gorgeous, comfy, soft feather beds with the 3,000 ridiculous thread count sheets and the murals on the walls and the private bathroom with a giant tub. I won't go into detail, But it is as everything Lady Tamby provides, exquisite. However, in the morning when you wake up to go catch your train at stupid o'clock, because that's how trains roll, har har. Nilenia, Gerald, you are sick as fuck. You are so ill. Gods know what Gerald gave you, but oh boy, it did not settle right.
Damn that halfling.
You both have a point of exhaustion because you spent most of the morning throwing up.
Fair enough.
Marcus, you get a long rest. Whatever you want to swap out for your skills is fine. And Bjorn, you also get a long rest. That alcohol didn't touch you.
Should I prepare spells now?
Yeah, if you like.
Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to.
Okay.
All right,
let me just
so
get my, Sorry, I was just I need to get my hair in character. Give me a sec.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, after a night out. Ooh,
That still looks pretty good.
I know,
I-
right?
luxurious.
Yeah.
I tried.
Shampoo,
Okay.
Well,
So-
we're gonna steal some of that magical shampoo they have at.
Yeah, there's little bottles, little glass bottles of shampoo if you want to steal those.
It looked like a Tresemme commercial at the end.
Like to steal a monogrammed towel.
So,
when the
Oh,
first
well,
person
wait.
comes in to throw up in the bathroom, I'm just like,
oh no, you all have your own rooms. You're fine.
oh,
Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Tanby
I mean,
is.
that depends. Did any two of us fuck?
No.
That's up to y'all, and that's not
Absolutely
this
not.
kind of stream. So, in the morning, two of you, sick as fuck, offered politely hangover hair of the dog by the staff. But you all make your way to the Tanby train station, where the locomotive, in all of its gleaming gold and silver glory, with a woman in the figurehead at front, streaming hair, long antlers. She looks like some sort of fae, or the idea of maybe what somebody thought a fae looked like at one point. Arms swept back on the front of the locomotive with spiraling curlicues and filigree all down the front of the locomotive. You are ushered to a private car, all yourself, with comfortable velvet seats and a gorgeous dome top for viewing the sky, if you wish, and wraparound windows in glass. This is first class shit. And you are seated, and your drink orders are taken, and we will go to break as you make your way north towards Hadelsbright.
Sick.
Yeah. So there we are. Alright, folks.
Hell yeah.
My audio's fucked up, so we're not gonna have music during the break, because I'd like to talk to my players over break, so I will be muting the audio from ourselves, but we will be back here in about 15-20 minutes for the second half of the first part of the prototype. We'll see you in a
Oh
minute.
yeah.
To the break screen! Hello, we're back. Yay, we're back. So, yeah, brief recap. They've gotten their job. They've been assigned, the party has been assigned to go lift some plans from one Calphus Industries to the north. They are on a train headed towards the town of Hadelsbright to catch their connection to the next town, which will be... Where's my map? Hang on just a second.
Something Stadt.
Nope. It's Finbar.
Oh, well, catch the connection to Finbar. Yeah.
Yes, so Tanby to Harbenstadt to Finbar. Gerald and Lelenya are horribly hungover after a night of drinking. And the party has been placed in their own private first-class carriage with drinks and comfy seats and a giant dome to view the world from on the top of their car and glass surrounding them all. So they are traveling in style and in comfort.
And that was a no on the cannon cars, right?
Yes.
Ugh. Amateurs.
I know.
Looks like you're gonna have to make your own edits.
Right. Hey, if they want to hire me as a security consultant for these train operations, I'm happy to explain where precisely cannons should be placed for optimal defense.
I think you should give a practical demonstration of the weaknesses in their security.
Indeed, I think that would make a lot of sense.
You could do that by giving me the time.
I think I'm
Give me
not
the
going.
time, and when they go back any bodies of water, that'd be great.
You'll need
I
it.
think I'm not going to do that as long as we're being paid to live in the swankiest train car I've ever seen.
Oh no, afterwards.
Indeed.
We'll plan for afterwards. We'll talk shop later.
A bit of initiative is always very good for getting a contract.
Well, if you're fast enough, higher initiative's always better.
Indeed.
Train lurches down the track. Surprisingly quickly. Anybody ever been on a train here before, or is this a new experience for all of you?
New for me.
First for me.
Millennia?
I feel like she's probably been around on a train.
She's been around trains.
She's
She hangs
spotted
out
a
at
couple
train
trains.
stations.
She's a train spotter. She's spotted a couple trains.
Oh.
Lady Tanby has in the past ordered fine carriages to, under the guise of very tasteful, well-made but very inconspicuous carriages, has ordered those to take you north. But this railway was completed last year, and it is a new thing. So you are hurtling down the track, probably faster than you've ever been in your life.
Just out of curiosity, can I find out how much the tickets we got cost?
Sure, yeah, there was a ticket counter on the way through.
Yeah.
The first class tickets for this train were 200 marks.
So she paid
Total?
800 just to fucking get us there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this lady is astonishingly wealthy.
I
Oh
would
my
have.
God.
Wait, did
Hey.
she owns the railway, right? Is that what you were saying?
She paid a lot of money to get you on a real nice train car.
Yeah, maybe it's a Tanby Motors thingy.
Just to clarify, 200 per.
Yes.
Yeah,
For the first class car.
I would have taken steerage class and 190 of that gold in my pocket. Sorry, of those marks in my pockets, but whatever, I guess.
Trains are new, and the rails are still being paid for, so tickets are pricey.
And maybe no one else was available for these expensive ass first class seats, so they just fielded us in,
Who knows?
Maybe she just wants the expedience. And also to show off.
She probably uses more eloquent language, but I suspect this is I know a guy. Okay.
Possibly.
I think she's the guy. She knows herself.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to complain. And then Gerald puts his feet up on the presumable table.
Okay, she mentioned a husband and wife. Is that public knowledge who those are?
Yeah, in Esterby, polyamory is actually pretty common.
No, I mean just like who they are.
Oh, yeah, actually. Let me get my notes out. You would know this. Hold on. I've got notes spread out across multiple documents. Please give me a second.
Spread across multiple lifetimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't sleep much.
You said you've worked on this for 4.5 years, which is like 3 moves ago, right?
Yeah. So,
Multiple timelines ago, if you ask Soren.
well, what happens when you're time traveling. Anyway,
Yeah. Or in the past, right?
Asta Tanby is of the Tanby family, named for Tanby. They've been there forever, supposedly. She has 4 daughters, with a half-elven man named Aaron, Eronn, Aaron, and has raised them with their spouse Forthright, who is a halfling woman. Their eldest daughter is named Esperania. She is set to inherit the corporation when her mother passes or decides to retire, whichever one. The second oldest is named Cinna, and Cinna is an artist. The third youngest is named Mint, who has some aspirations to become leader of Tanby Motors rather than her eldest sister. But that is rumors and hearsay. The youngest is Marifin, also known as Mary, and she's too young to really care about anything. So, yeah. That is the Tanby family as it stands right now.
So okay.
Sounds like a happy little group.
They're, by all appearances on the outside, quite functional and normal. So, does anybody like to do anything on the train ride? The long, day-long train ride to Hadelsbright. Excuse me, Harvenstadt. Hadelsbright's to yourself.
Vibing.
I would... Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. I take an action to vibe.
Cool, you vibe.
Oh, okay.
What would you like to do, Nilenia?
I would like to nap daintily, please.
Sure. You nap daintily. The
Excellent.
rhythm of the train rocking back and forth does not a lot to soothe your hangover, but the hair of the dog you were brought, and then subsequently a lovely cold, some odd new invention, soda of some kind, a fizzy sweet drink, with a surprising pep to it, does perk you up a little bit. Gerald, you are offered one as well, if you would like to maybe alleviate your hangover a little bit.
Yes.
Great. So, the countryside blurs past. You continue on. It is, despite the rather lovely countryside view, there's not a lot going on. It's plains and, more plains and farmland, and a beautiful sunset. Night sets in and the train keeps going. If you look up above you, there's very little lights between Tanby and Harvenstadt, and you can see the constellations just spread across the sky above you. The arm of brightness that stretches from horizon to horizon. There is an interesting thing about Esterby. In the very, very dark, you can see 3 bands of starlight across the horizon from one to the other. Almost equidistant from one another in the sky. And it rotates back around as the night nears its end and the sun rises. I assume you all do not get up to any stupidity in your very nice train car. Get a sleep.
Oh no, this is the day after the party. So now it's the fuck off, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
It's the I have a knife, I'm sleeping.
Marcus?
Ask the conductor if they have any free-use musical instruments on board.
Any what?
Musical
Free use musical instruments.
Very normal thing, of course.
The conductor sort of stares at you in bewilderment, shakes his head.
It said you're a conductor.
I thought that was what was happening.
God damn
That's
it.
not what I was going for initially. I only realized halfway through.
You are politely sent back to your train car. Night slowly passes. If I could get everybody but Owen to take their headsets off, please.
Oh, shit. Alright.
Nice.
Oh.
You've done this to me. It's revenge time, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I was gonna play music with my ghosts, but
About 3 o'clock in the morning. Are you sleeping?
No.
That tracks. Your companion appears before you, sitting on the back of the seat before you. She fidgets with Gerald's hair, pokes at Nilanya's ears, generally makes a nuisance of herself before returning to you. Knees clutched to her chest, she perches in a way that defies gravity and looks down at you.
Who are you?
You gave me a name. Do you not remember it?
No. I don't know what you are. You follow me and tell me things, and I am grateful, but your companions haunt my nights.
We're all the same. All of us. We're what remains. What's left? Kendara hasn't given up yet. And your people trade stories and nightmares and say that Kendara is lost. Marcus, you have to tell the truth of this place. Where you're going. I don't know what you're going to find there, but something tells me it needs to be told.
Who? Myself, lady?
Whoever will listen.
I already think I'm mad.
Not long ago you would have been considered a prophet. But our stories are dying. You have to tell the truth of us. Will you do that?
See what I will find. And yes, I think.
Be careful. You're still needed. Go to sleep. Tomorrow will be longer. Every day gets longer.
Yes. What did I call you?
What's up? I don't remember. I just know you gave me a name the first time you saw me. Sleep, Marcus. There'll be time.
Okay. Sort of wipes tear from his eyes a bit.
Your companion, as usual, lays a hand on your shoulder and steps back into your shadow. Okay.
Oddly lonely.
Hello.
Welcome back. The night passes. The sun rises.
Oh, and talks with his warlock patron.
Not quite. You are woken by the train slowing to a halt in Harvenstad. Bjorn, it is exactly how you remember it. Nothing's changed, except for now there's a train station. And it is busy! Lots of people, even this early in the morning. You are politely ushered off by the attendant who has been checking in on you every few hours periodically. You have 20 minutes to make your next connection. Do you do anything in the meantime, or do you go straight to your next train?
Fuck no, I'm going.
Oh yeah, book up.
You book it?
I'll do that as well. I'll run as fast as my little legs will carry me.
How long is the distance?
You're like 2 platforms over, so you have to go down a set of stairs, through a fairly long hallway underground, back up a set of stairs, and to the next platform.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna
What's
go.
the span between the 2 platforms?
About 500 meters.
Oh.
Oh, that's a little bit more than like
Wait, 250. Did the math wrong.
250 meters. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
these train tracks are set pretty far apart, mostly for
Okay.
safety, it seems. And for platforms. I mean, you need big concrete slabs next to them.
Mm.
There's stone, though. There's no concrete yet, I don't think. Hmm.
Oh, concrete's been in use for a very, very long time.
Well,
It's had a analogous material.
concrete it is, with like cobblestones and stuff. Harvardstadt Station is not as fancy as Tambi's, but it's nice. Cast iron, ornaments, pigeons everywhere. Oh god, so many pigeons. Holy shit, why are there so many pigeons?
Them fucking seagulls.
No seagulls.
People
Can we
keep
see the lake?
feeding them.
Could we see the
Why-
lake?
Keep feeding them.
I
I
can't.
will.
Missed you again, Anton. What?
Can we see the lake?
Can you see the lake? Yes, yes, you can see the lake. You can see the lake from the train station. It's pretty flat out here. There's a few trees in between, but Harvenstadt has mostly kind of raised them down around the area. The lake, its subsequent docks, the little sailboats. It's again a gorgeous day. A little colder up here, a little more humid, but still clear, beautiful. And so you all book it to your next train platform.
Books
Where-
it and use it apparently in far better shape than he used to. I have efficiency.
Wait.
there.
Since yesterday?
No, since years ago.
Since like 6 months ago? Okay.
Since yesterday, he has grown 2 muscles. We don't know where he put them yet.
The next train to Finbar is
Does it have
Okay.
cannons?
Things.
Does it have cannons? I need to know.
no cannons. Sorry. The next train to Finbar appears to be a little less fancy.
Fancy.
It still has the figurehead on the front. This time it is a flock of birds, actually, but they are crafted so that the lead bird, which appears to be some kind of falcon or eagle, juts out of the front of the train and then is trailed by another flight or flock of birds that swirl from one side of the locomotive up, over, and back around. And they are enameled in gold and silver and some kind of oddly iridescent paint. It seems whoever's making these engines has a real flair for the dramatic. But there's a lot more cargo cars on this one, some livestock. You are, again, ushered to the equivalent of the first class cabin. This one's not as nice. It's still comfortable. It doesn't have the nice domed ceiling. The windows are actually a little bit smaller, and they actually have set in between them, so they're a little more sturdy, but it is definitely not as fancy as the first one.
Can I speak to the manager or the conductor or something like that?
Do you really wanna?
Yes.
Are you
Okay.
gonna try and get a free flute out of it?
I'm in first class. I'll have them summoned to us.
Okay. Yeah. You summon the conductor. He looks a little bit harried and busy, but he comes in. Yes. Hello. How can I help you? Is everything all right?
I'd like to inquire about the defensive capabilities of this train.
I beg your pardon. We have guards, if that's what you're concerned about.
Where are they stationed? How many? What weapons are they armed with?
Some of the guards around the more valuable cargo are armed with rifles and sabers. For your car, sir, there are 2 guards on either side of your doors at each end, and they're armed with some pistols and pistols and swords as well. Maybe a crossbow, I think, between them. Why do you ask? Is there a concern?
100 people in such a small space traveling together? Yes, there's a concern. But you've just eased them. Thank you.
Oh yes, of course. And rest assured, sir, that none of the others will be back in this car. Behind you is actually the cargo, and then in front, that'll be your dining car, that you'll share with some of the second-class passengers, and then in the front of the train, there's the rest of the common rabble. So you're quite isolated back here.
Slap him on the shoulder and say, thank you. You've assuaged my fears.
Of course, anything for a patron of Starline. If you excuse me, sir, if there's nothing else that I can do for you, I must go attend to the train, and the engine.
What was that? Patron of Starline?
Starline.
Oh, that's the name of
the railway company.
train company. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It may or may not be a Tanby Motors subsidy.
Sure.
The conductor shuffles forward as he opens the door in front of him. These kind of folding wooden affairs you see as they slide shut. There is actually a lock on the back, a brass lock that you can set forward. It's not like substantial. If somebody kicked it really hard, it would break in. But you do catch the backs of 2 armored guards, and he kind of brushes past them and heads into the train.
All right. Cheryl will just say take guards as he walks in.
Oh, you get stared at. They're not in the mood for talking, it seems.
Right, fucking hell.
Nah, they're busy. Professionals.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so,
Lucy understands that.
day 2 of travel. Yeehaw. I'd like to say that this trip is, as pleasant as the trip from, Tanby to Harvenstadt, but it isn't. As you work your way north, it gets colder, and colder, and colder. And,
I assume my exhaustion is gone, yeah?
Yeah, everybody who had exhaustion, you're good now.
Yeah.
Yay.
So the train careens on, and as you work your way north, the forests and the gently rolling hills and all the farmland, they start to deteriorate. Marcus, and maybe Nilenia, and actually all of you, maybe, if you've been here before, in this way through carriages, if you've been up to, say, maybe like, I don't know, Korta or Finbar for work. This area, you feel like it used to be a lot nicer in terms of its vegetation and farmland. It was always cold, but stuff grew here. It seems like in the last year and a half or so, the surrounding land from Harvenstadt to Finbar is in a state of decline. Where once there were pine forests, there are like these black trunks jutting out of black and reddened soil, and the weather gets worse. It starts raining. You can hear the ice and the sleet hitting the top of the train car in sort of a uneven, rough staccato. It gets worse as you go north.
A little bit of bookkeeping. Can I say I bought some cold weather clothing beforehand, or is that something I should have done before?
I mean, you knew you were going somewhere cold. If you forgot, it's fine.
Yeah.
Seems sensible. You guys are professionals. I'm not gonna be like, no, you couldn't buy cold weather clothing. You're gonna have to freeze.
Is it traveler's clothes then? 2GP.
Yeah, it's fine. So, as you work your way north forward into this decrepit area, you realize that there was a battle here. A pretty fucking ferocious one. There is swords, artillery, broken weapons of war, and siege machines. Just in the middle of nowhere. For no goddamn reason. There's nothing out here. There's never been anything out here except farmland and some hamlets. But it's all fucked now, basically. If there were bodies here, they've been removed or picked clean. You don't spot any bones in the blur of the landscape past you, but doesn't mean they're not out there. As you get further into what appears to be a battleground, the guards, you see them stiffen up. You watch them tense. It's not like fairly difficult to see that they're on edge.
Fuck you think happened here?
The road that used to go north from Harvenstadt to Finbar, that kind of echoes the train tracks alongside you, is blown to shit. The cobbles are everywhere, there's potholes. A wagon would have a hell of a time making its way forward from here, and it's probably no surprise that you're on a train instead. But yeah. So, There's about a mile of this before it just gets bleak and dirty and full of soot. The lake to your west and north is blackened. There's some kind of strange algae growing in it. You're not sure what. It's red and purplish and sickly. There's fungi all along the rim of the lake in bizarre colors that just shouldn't exist. But there they are. Whatever happened here, it happened a bit ago, and it was pretty terrible.
Do
Oh, sorry, Adam.
anyone know what the fuck happened here? Any of you frequent this way? I've been up once or twice, but not recently.
What would I have to roll to know?
Well, fun thing about that. When was the last time any of you were north?
3 weeks ago.
You were?
Yeah, I came back.
Ah,
And
okay.
then
You came through Finbar and down, right? Yeah, you
and
saw
then-
this on the way.
yeah. I took the.
Yeah, you saw this on the way here. But it has appeared since you were last in Esterby.
Yeah.
So in your time when you were away, this has happened.
What do you think is
Yes,
happening?
Marcus, you know what this is. You've seen it before.
It's growing.
Yes, it is.
Dude, I can't hear you. Can you like speak up?
Hello.
There we are.
Hello.
Stage whisper, not actual.
Hmm.
I was an inch away from my mic, and it wasn't that quiet, but I think my mic was turned down low.
It's possible.
It's growing, he says.
What's fucking growing?
Rot. This. I don't fucking know what it is.
Well, rot don't make cannons, does it?
Systemic rot, might.
Ah, that's a different kind of rot. That's the kind of rot you rob.
Can I get everybody in the cable car to make a perception check, please?
Certainly can.
23, okay.
23.
Okay.
Yes.
19. 25. 9. Everybody but Nalenia, off to your right, through the window. Maybe Nalenia, you're looking out the other window, at the absolute travesty of a lake to your west. Everybody who is looking east currently sees something very wrong happen. You're staring out into space at one point, and it's battlefield and broken farmland and sick. And all of a sudden, it reverses. It's like watching something run backwards in a way that shouldn't. For a moment, the farmland is green and lush and verdant around you, and there's people and it's the way you remember it, Marcus. And for half a second, maybe two, just a spot, maybe 200 feet away from you, is normal and beautiful again. And you blink, and it fasts forwards abruptly, like whiplash. And something about it, watching it, is wrong. You know it's wrong. In the core of your being, in your sternum, in your stomach, in your mouth, in the back of your throat, you know it is wrong. And the land catapults back and forth between whole and broken, all across this battlefield. And you blink again, and it's a ruin.
Oh, yeah. What the? I don't.
They might be around here. The windows up here, do they open?
They do.
Marcus clambers to a window and opens it.
Okay. The smell is indescribably terrible. It is death, it is sick, it is mold, it is sweat, it is gunpowder. It is everything wrong with this world right now. It is ozone and poison.
He checks sort of down the side of the train
Mhm.
and is very paranoid that something bad is going to happen. From past experiences.
The ground
Walk
rushes
up.
past.
I walk up and like tap you on the shoulder.
What?
Marcus,
Yes.
you've been over the wall. What is this?
I don't know. I don't know. It's sickness. The land there is.
It's forgetting.
It's forgetting. It's. The land itself is alive, and therefore it rots. Because it's dying, and. They remembered. We don't. It's getting worse, and it shouldn't be here. And. There are things that can hurt you. And they hurt me. And we should be careful.
Everybody
Right.
but Marcus roll a perception check.
Another one? Okay.
Okay. Round
If
2.
you're looking at him.
Was it everything but me? Sorry.
Everybody but Marcus roll a
Okay,
perception check.
ignore my roll.
Yep. At
55.
this point, Nalenya is probably looking at him.
Nice.
Hey.
Okay. Very, very good. Okay, so everybody's over 20. Fantastic. I love plot. You're all staring at Marcus as he's talking, and you can see the anxiety, this knowledge, it torments him. And just behind his shoulder, just for an instant, you see the face of someone looking at all of you. Tapered ears, the beginning of antlers, flowing hair, but sick somehow, skeletal, a little bit wrong, but just watching you. And you swear maybe it's a trick of the light. But she tilts her head at you, Nalanya, and smiles. There's kinship there. And she's gone.
I grab.
And crossbow.
I reach out to grab her, or it.
Your hand goes through her.
The fuck behind you?
Okay.
I'm pointing the hand crossbow at where she was. Alright, first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, who the fuck?
What do you mean?
I won't hurt them.
What do you mean, who do you mean?
We're not hearing that voice, right, Rune?
Mm-mm.
On your shoulder, fucking...
There was someone. Pointed ears. Antlers.
You saw her.
For a moment.
Who the fuck is her?
She smiled.
You saw the shadow one. I'm not seeing things. She's real.
Of course I'm real. I've always been real.
You're a voice that talks to me when no one else is around. Oh, forgive me, but
The lines here are thinner. You can see me. Just for a moment. When the land
Okay.
remembers, they can see me. And there she is again. There's a flash outside. The farmland reverts to its former glory. You see the girl again. The antlers, the eyes, focused on you, head tilted, and she's gone.
Alright, that's number 2. That's number fucking 2. What's her fucking name, and what's going on?
What's this? Did you pick up a hitchhiker while out here?
What does this mean?
it was with me when I left. when I made it back to the wall. And look, there's more than Wen. You can call her Wen.
Okay.
Her name is longer and more complicated, and I don't know if I should. It's not mine to share. They are strange in their ways. There are others. They help me, I think. Some help. Some haunt. But they, yeah. I saw things there. I can't remember what. I don't let myself remember what. Bad things. I took the job so I could talk to the lady. She reminds me of them.
Right. Okay. So when you say there's others, what do the others do? They tell you to stab people in the neck while they're sleeping? They,
Some
they
of
tell
them
you to burn things?
do. No. One is incredible on the lyre.
Alright.
Another has a knowledge of history that I have not found in any library. Others talk of runes and languages and power. I can't fathom. Some tell stories. I don't know why. I don't truthfully know what happened to me. The lady speaks like them. She sounds like them. The land in my dreams was like this. I have not slept fully in a long time. You can count on me for the job. Don't.
It's fine.
This is
Sounds
bad.
sounds to me like you went through picking through a graveyard and picked out all the people in it. Like, you got a smart one, you got a... Well, you got a charming bastard, you might as well pick me up for that, but...
I thought they were what I thought. I thought they were dead people, but I think they're still alive.
Memories of a faded past?
Is that better or worse?
Depends. I would
They've
imagine.
asked me that whatever we find, the truth of it should be shared. Needs to be shared.
As
Oh,
long as you
dear.
don't affect the job.
So you went over the wall where this sickness and blight is coming from and brought back creatures with you that are apparently invisible or can disappear or something? You don't think that's a bit...
This had happened when I returned. I didn't cause it. I think whatever Kelphis is doing, his chimneys, his machines.
Whatever Kelphis is doing, Townby is doing, and Hadelsbright is doing 10 times as much.
You don't know that. That's why we're here. To find out what's going on under his factory.
Are you implying there's something more to our predetermined goals?
I was away from the city for some time, recently, before the land was cold and hard and poor, but it was land, it wasn't dying. And now it's rotting. it's dead meat. And now, of all times, the lady hires us to investigate this recent research division. A secret laboratory basement underneath the largest factory in a city named for its industry, or industry named for the city. They can't be disconnected.
Lilia kind of closes her eyes and kind of puts her chin to her chest. Starts thinking. What a pickle we find ourselves in.
Starting to wonder if I should have stuck to bothering merchants along the way.
It doesn't change what we need to do.
We don't
No,
fucking
but it
like
makes
any
the
of
scale
this.
bigger. Doesn't have to make the scale bigger, doesn't it?
People like me, people like us, we're not exactly folks who thrive in a spotlight. We are best in the shadows. I don't like the idea of us having to go into the light, even if it is to uncover the truth.
Speak for yourself, darling.
But... oh, fair enough.
What sent you over the wall the first time, Marcus?
Agreed. What else?
Your personal job.
Work is drying up here. Captain comes by, taking a crew to the wall. Short venture over. Come back with what you find. I was drunk and desperate. Woke up on the ship. Harold dead. Or was.
This is fucked. It's one thing to know that there's a land across a channel where some shit is happening. It's another thing to... This is the road, the trail between two cities. It's... before too long it's going to reach one of them. If it's going.
I don't think anyone on Kelthus will notice.
You said this used to be farmland, hard farmland. People lived here, they farmed things. Where are they now?
Fighting, maybe.
So people are beginning to notice. If they got out to Calphus or nearby cities. It's...
Then we don't need to step into the light. We can learn, give this technology to the lady. There, I assume, given sort of the tech period analog, like paper print is common and widespread. There's probably not newspapers, right?
Yeah, printing presses are a thing. Oddly, there's been no mention of this in them.
Huh. I mean,
Yeah.
we're on a pretty
Maybe-
packed train or a small train, maybe?
It's a smallish train, mostly cargo.
We have a private car, yeah?
Yep.
Maybe you don't remember when you leave.
That's...
You are reaching the edge of what looks like this desolate ruin. You can see it approaching rather quickly. Millennia, are your eyes open?
Yeah.
At the back of the train, there is a tall elven figure watching you. They look surprisingly like you.
You kind of see her kind of squint, blink. Is the figure still there?
Hmm? kind of pale and silvery, but still there. Just
She kind of
Watch
mutters under her breath. Who are you?
there's no reply. As you pass into the border of the ruin and the countryside, such as it is, rocky, dark.
Marcus is drawing his sword, and he's like doesn't have a pen and ink on him, unlike Bjorn, but in a similar vein, he's trying to make a note. Probably gets halfway through before we leave. Basically, the land, and then
As the back of the train car passes out of the ruin, you turn around and look back out the back window, past the cargo. That's odd. Wasn't there a battle there? Weren't there swords? Wasn't the land rotting? But you remember. You know what you saw. And the train hurtles on towards Finbar.
Oh no, I don't like that. Look, I'm not scared of anything, but that's fucking weird.
I don't like this.
if you crossed the wall, you'd be scared. And this
Alright,
is
look, I'll admit what's happened to you is weird, but at the end of the day, it's all new to us too.
you like
There has
ships.
to-
I do. I'm glad you figured that out.
This is a rowboat. The wall is a galleon, a four-masted behemoth of the sea.
Well, one of those days, I look forward to climbing the fucking galleon and commanding it myself. So, we'll find the way.
Millennia,
Hmm.
you look back towards Marcus. Eyes just kind of sweep the cavern. Cavern? Cabin. That's that word. And your elven friend is gone. But you do see the shadow, kind of green, shimmering faintly, of Marcus's friend, and the word comes to you, Dryad. Something maybe your mother told you when you were a child. Story you heard. You're half elven. There are stories when your family wasn't so deluded and far-flung across Esterby. Tree spirits that protect the land. This one seems sick, though, maybe. You were told stories of beautiful people with horns and charming personalities. Held parties on the forests for days on end. But whoever or whatever is standing by Marcus's shoulder seems sick somehow, twisted, but unmistakable. That is a creature of the land. And she's staring at you.
Where is your tree, little one?
She perks, looks at you, looks east.
Ah,
She says something, but you can't hear her. The language isn't something you understand. It's Elven, but it's not. Bird song and wind and light, and a language you've forgotten in the long years of your life. Maybe your mother spoke it once. The land hurtles on beyond you. And Finbar approaches in the north.
there's
Mark-
always a reason.
Welcome to
There's
fucking
always a reason.
Finbar.
Marcus,
Yes.
you said you think technology did this.
I don't know.
Something they have in Calvis?
Okay.
Maybe. I'm gonna find out.
All of you are pretty bright, right? I'd like a general intelligence check from the entire party, please.
7.
21.
15?
The sea has taught me many things. None of them are relevant.
Mm-hmm. Carol, you have no idea. This is fucking weird.
It is fucking weird.
This is just like, fuck this shit, I'm out weird.
Oh, I ain't scared of it though. Fuck that.
Bjorn, you've been around cities a lot. Weird thing, Tanby doesn't have this problem. Adelsbright doesn't have this problem. The water's
That's
a little
what-
fucked up, but...
That's what I said earlier in the conversation. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm. You know, Corda doesn't really have this problem. It's looking rough, but it's the north. It's cold. It's hard. Millennia, you've been around. This problem seems unique to this area, and unique to Kalphus, and you're pretty certain it is not technology causing it, not the concept of technology or the presence of technology. Plenty of cities have lights and sewers and trains and electronic stuff. Well, not electronic, but steam-driven stuff, industry. Yeah, things are a little more polluted and dirty than they were before, but nothing like this. This is fucking weird. And you don't think that technology is necessarily the direct cause.
Technology has, in some degree, been at the antithesis of nature. It's mortals taking land into their collective grip and harnessing it in ways that were not originally intended.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something different. Water can be fouled, but not to this degree. Land can be tainted, but not in a way that clearly has warped reality. Something is wrong here. Not because of technology, but because of something else. And damned if I am not curious. This is very strange.
Lady, I hear you. I do, and I agree. The lady's land is not sickened. She said Kalphis was developing some kind of new engine. One that would destroy her entire company, her industry. Something so far more advanced than anything we know.
or maybe something more primitive than anything we know.
Yes, this stories. They talk of magic and the fairer folk. All these tales, right? The magic, the primal energies. What? You're far better with words, but what if it's a magic engine?
I don't like that.
I don't either.
Fueled not by coal or timber, but you know, life, the earth. My companions. The stuff that makes us alive.
There's so little magic left. If you have a artifact of some kind, it's flawed. It's limited.
Bend a branch enough, and it breaks.
Well then, what do you suppose we do about it? If we find something like that, we tell someone or do we fucking break it? Like, I don't know. I like a heist, but
The job was to discover the information.
yes.
We're thieves.
We are thieves.
Steal what we can.
True.
Hey, Rune, can I do a retroactive perception for the cup? Or no, this is only day 1 on this train, right?
This is day 2.
Everyone did.
Day 2 on this train.
This is the
Day-
train from Harvenstadt to Finbar, and this is
Yes.
day 2 of your travel.
Yeah,
I
day 2
would
is
have
travel day.
checked our car for,
Mhm.
well, there's no bugs, but like I would have checked it for possibility that somebody might be spying on us in some way.
Doesn't look like there would be anywhere to do that in here, aside from if they somehow crammed themselves underneath the seat, and they'd have to
Yeah.
be real small. But no, you check
False walls, you know, like.
No, the walls of this train are far too thin for that. They're thin enough that the cold is starting to seep through a bit. There's not really anywhere for anybody to hide. If you checked around the cab and looked in the luggage compartments, all that, it's empty.
Those weird, like, ear thingies that this used to be. Anyway.
Yeah, nothing that you see here. It looks like you are actually well and truly alone, save for your guard friends out front and back.
To answer your question, Lady Tanby is paying us quite well to recover this stuff, but perhaps once we see what it is, we decide it's not worth the price.
Well, how long's her memory? I reckon she got a long one. You piss her off, then
She's
I
old.
know.
If she is fey in nature, which is what our good friend seems to be insinuating, she probably has a vested interest in not replicating this technology.
But
So, I would assume if we happen to be a little bit. What was it that I said earlier? Taking the initiative might not only be good for our wallets, but also good for a general livelihood. Something tells me that all of this, is not going to be very easy to live in if it continues.
you think Lady Tanby wants to stop this and is a benevolent figure?
Well, certainly, I hope that someone who has been so nice to at least myself for so long doesn't happen to be betraying that trust by ultimately trying to create a world that is ultimately impossible to live in any way, shape, or form.
If your passive insight beats 11, I am hiding something.
My passive insight is 15.
Bjorn is debating whether to tell you something.
Seems as though we're all sharing. Bjorn, do you have something to say?
Tanby Motors doesn't just make motors, you know that, right?
She makes a lot of things. What in particular do you mean?
Weapons. A lot of them. Experimental weapons. Large weapons that blow things up. I glance over into the corner.
Ah, fuck.
This is a prototype, but you must understand you don't make a prototype unless you wish to move to mass production very soon and sell a lot of things like this for warfare.
This day has been very interesting.
What if that's what the battle was? It's not happened,
Test?
it's happening. It's going to happen.
They're testing the weapons. Maybe.
Alright.
She told me
So-
to test it.
Was that a gift or something?
It's on loan.
Oh,
did she give
fuck
it to
me,
you?
alright. Okay.
Did she give it to you right before this?
Yes. I picked it up in a private
On-
meeting we had the day before.
On a mission where she explicitly asked us to not Kill people.
She also explicitly asked me to keep that everything I told you a secret, so I hope you understand that I'm asking you to keep it to yourselves.
Alright, works for me.
Well, people of our profession are either the best people to give a secret to, or the worst. But
Yes,
it's safe with me.
it's not safe. It's not safe once more than one person knew it, but I feel like I had to tell you.
I appreciate that.
Aye. Better to know that we've got more people on it, and that, well, more people know what the fuck is going on, at least parts of it. So what, we got a fucking land that's forgetting itself, and you got a thing that's potentially part of causing it, and it's all in a basement. I feel like this is very, very menacing for something in the middle of a basement somewhere. But
This
I
is
think
like,
if we get into that building and it's got something big and secret in the basement, and it's something we can steal, or we can just, like, throw it into the fucking sea if if we don't like it, as it
I'm
were.
simply implying that don't let her gifts of gold blind you and convince you that she is something that she is not actually.
Well, the reason I became a pirate is because I don't trust anyone with more money than they can spend in a week.
Good.
So on the sea, you get what you have, and that's the way I like it. Now, you get a lot of people out there who go like, "I've got more money than I've got sense." But they run out of either, and then they run out of their lives in some cases, if they're real shitheads about it. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I kind of like living, and if the rest of this sort of fuckery of this job we're going on is starting to threaten where I live, then I'm not likely to go back to her and be like, well, here's the rest of my world on a plate, Mom. How about instead, if it's something we think is going to fuck over the rest of the world, we just gently give it a little encouragement to, I don't know, have a big cannonball in it. I got 100 gold out of her already. It lasts me a while.
In my experience, you can't trust corporate types as far as you can throw them. And she kind of just pulls up her arms a little bit. I'm not exactly the muscle.
No, I think we're more quick than Slappy.
Indeed. It's
And let
more...
Bjorn, are you hiding some Slappy under there? Then again, me asking about someone's business, me asking about someone's Slappy seems a little bit rude now, don't it? How's your Slappy, Bjorn?
Marcus, you've been rather quiet in our general roundtable of assuming that our employer is off to destroy the world. What do you make of this?
you can't trust magic.
No one does nowadays.
So we go in, and the brief was learn what's happening. You didn't say you needed to bring it back.
True.
I say we give her the knowledge she wants and skip out on a bonus pay.
At least that bonus pay.
Oh, yeah, no, we can perform all sorts of other espionage, but cannonball in the middle of the damn thing, if it is a thing we can put a cannonball in.
Seems fine to me.
I mean, worst case, set off the alarms, burn the building down, seems it's empty.
It's one way to experiment with it.
Getting colder.
You're gonna want
Marcus,
to put hats on.
You're familiar with this. You know you're getting close to Finbar.
Yeah.
The railway takes you past the lake and away from it, out stretching along the eastern bank of the area around Finbar, and across the inlet you can see towering hundreds upon hundreds of meters in the air, a wall, impossible, looming, made from bricks the size of galleons. You can't see the detail from here, but Marcus, you know that each one of those bricks is etched down to the last centimeter with a language you cannot read. The wall casts a shadow over the water. And you swear along the edges you can see that fungus seeping through the cracks in the brick. Like it's reaching for something.
That's the line in the map you don't cross.
The clouds consume the top of the wall.
How do you cross? You got across. There are holes? There's passages?
How did I get across?
Funny thing that. How did you get across? Maybe you knew once, but
Wow.
can't remember now. Something the captain did?
I quite happily and genuinely, with no hint of mistruth, tell you I do not know. And I'm glad for it.
The little voice at your ear simply says, "You ask." You may not like what answers, though.
And I do not share that information. It's no one should go there. I, Owen, do not know what happened to Marcus there. Other than it was bad.
Nilenia, as Wen speaks, you hear again a bit of birdsong, but you don't see her. Like right at the edge of your hearing.
She kind of looks a little bit, not necessarily frustrated per se, but kind of like the facial equivalent of knowing there is something at the tip of your tongue and just never being able to grasp it and say what it is for sure.
Yeah. It's the song that stuck in your head, but you couldn't actually sing the melody.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's just that. Oh, fuck. How does it go?
Like the theme to The Expanse. So yeah, the train continues northward, and after about 8 hours of travel, north of the whatever the fuck that was, train pulls to a stop in Finbar. Finbar is exactly how you remember it. It's kind of odd. Hasn't changed a bit, save for a concrete platform stuck in the middle of the rock. There is a cold-ass wind blowing from the north. It cuts through your clothing. If you got a coat, put it on, 'cause damn. To the north, you can see the sea. Gray, angry, roiling. Careful with that. The wall to your east, a dim shadow across the inlet. And to your west, across swamp and mire, you see smoke billowing on the horizon. Is it smoke? No, it's too red, it's too orange, it's too many colors to be proper smoke. This is smog. And it is growing above the silhouetted outline of Calphas's chimneys and spires and factories. And the horizon grows dark with soot.
God damn, we're fighting a CR20 enemy. Pollution.
Damn. I mean, are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure it's gone up to at least CR23 now.
Right, yeah.
Climate change. You are escorted to a carriage. It seems you're not staying in Finbar. You are one of the guards that's been standing over your carriage for the last day and a half finds you, gently takes some of you by the elbow, and nudges you towards a carriage of 2 horses that you all can comfortably fit inside. It is serviceable, but it's fucking cold. And you all load in. The horses get to a walking pace. The road is rough. It's barely a road. It's like some dirt with some rocks in it, and it is an uncomfortable ride west to Kalphas.
That's a road.
And I think, since it is 5:30, we will leave it there, because the next part of the adventure gets fucking crazy.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm looking forward to it.
that means we got ambushed on the road, or otherwise we would have gotten to Kalphas. Sorry.
Spoilers! Come on.
I love all the assumptions you make. It's great watching people do this. Now I know how you feel, Owen.
It's great watching people be wrong. Horribly, completely incorrect.
So,
Ambushed on the road.
Yeah, that's the fun
Cool.
stuff.
We'll be ambushed by the
the
road.
road. The road's wrong. The land is changing. It wants to eat you.
You said in the Discord that, like, oh, we're gonna skip the travel, and I was like, okay, sure. And then the travel suddenly became really interesting, and a lot of backstory was leaked.
Yeah.
That was some very good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
much enjoyed it.
10.
Yeah, so this is Esterby, everyone. This will be the last Chronicles someday.
Hell yeah.
Thank you
Nice.
for playing my game.
Oh, thank you for running it.
So next week, same bat time, same bat channel, we will continue with part 2 of the prototype and see what the actual fuck is happening in Kalphas. I've just
Would appreciate it.
I have
It's terrible in the housing market. So,
absolutely enjoyed watching your characters interact. I was actually going to just yeehaw over the travel, but then I thought, wait a minute.
Character development.
This could be
Hell
fun.
yeah.
And all of you are really good role players, so it's like it's really fun to just kind of set you together in an environment and give you something to react to and then just go, all right, let's see what they do with this.
Yep.
I have to
Yeah.
admit, it is fun playing No Thoughts, Head Empty.
It can be relaxing.
Oh, man. I've had characters like
I
that.
am just
It's so good.
I am just literally just fucking sitting here. I love the sea, I do.
I'm just happily sitting here sailing, partying across the sea.
Oh fuck, what's that? Oh, the water's great. Oh shit, now it's relevant to me. Oh fuck.
My character concept was essentially if I was the heavy from TF2, but like surprisingly wise. So like I maxed perception and insight
Heavy with a wisdom out of 20.
with a good wisdom and expertise in perception. So that's why I'm like,
That's the thing. I think you and I chose the opposite around. I went proficiency in perception and expertise in insight. I'm the people person. You're the spotty person.
well, I was a sailor, so I figured better eyes.
Oh, I went. Are you fucking lying to me, son?
I had a weird feeling that despite 3 rogues and a gunslinger, none of us would actually focus on like.
Sleight of hand and
Roguing.
stealth.
So I went high perception, high. I was like, I'll do like a wisdom rogue. That'll be weird and different. And I was like, hang on a minute. I've got a feeling we're all gonna do that,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
different ways.
Yep.
So
How
you know
many-
what? I'll just go.
Just raise your hand if you are trained in stealth, actually. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So everyone but me.
Um,
I think it's fitting. The
Perfect.
3 rogues have it. You know.
Yeah.
I did take sleight of hand because I figured gunslinger, that makes sense. But
Yep.
I promise. Go ahead, Owen.
I just took athletics because I was like, you know what? I needed to run away from something at some point.
Fair enough.
That's a very wise choice.
That's
I feel.
fair. Yeah. No,
I've-
that's
So, next week we have a little bit of potentially some combat to look forward to, some puzzle solving. We're gonna get into the real meat of this adventure. This has just been the trimmings on the cake, the icing on the cake.
it was a very good episode 1, right? Like
Yeah.
Game of
Yeah.
Thrones episode 1, like nothing happens, and then right at the end there's finally a thing. So
we have
I like the
we
world.
have some
It's good
stakes
shit.
set up. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm getting a couple ideas of where you've gotten a couple things, and I'm here for it. It's great. I'm
Thank you.
enjoying it.
This universe, since we have a little bit of time, we got 12 minutes. This universe started as a story I started writing called The Weaver's Word, and the first adventure for it is actually the start of what will someday be a campaign, which is an all bard one shot.
Oh
it
boy.
is an adventure for 5 level 5 bards. And it focuses on there's a little tiny town that probably none of you have heard of because it's kind of purposefully obscured. There's a little town called Mirandil over across the lake from Harvenstad, and it's a backwater, but it's an interesting backwater, which is probably why people don't talk about it much. But we'll leave that for another day. So, I have been your lore keeper. My name is Runesail. I do art for Cubicle 7, and I write in my spare time, and I play a lot of Destiny. If you liked what you saw here, please come back next week. We will hopefully get into episode 2 of this one-shot. Sorry. And briefly before we depart, we are going to go around, say who we are, what we do, and then we will bid you farewell. Let's start with Scribe, and then do Owen, Lucy, and Anton. Reverse order.
Okay. So hello again, and possibly goodbye in a couple minutes. I'm Brewing Scribe, and I'm a game designer. I do a lot of tabletop content. You can find a lot of my stuff, including one class, a little treatise, little thing. It's like 42 pages of statting your own custom gods, a custom proficiency rules, and 17 unique subclasses for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition at my website, samggames.com. I am absolutely showing myself. And
That's what this is for.
keep an eye on my Twitter. I have some cool shit that's hopefully coming out within the next month or two, which should be very fun.
Cool. Okay, Owen, who are you? What do you do?
Hello, I am Owen. I am also a game designer of a different variety. We come in many flavors. Working in VR, as I've shilled many times before. Zombieland Headshot Fever has now released not only on the Oculus Quest platform, but also onto Steam VR, available on all PC-supported headsets. The summer update just released a host of brand new content, including gun skins and levels that you can earn in such legendary levels as the Bowling Realm medieval-themed bowling alley, now filled with the undead. I've run out of steam a little bit there. Basically, it sounds okay. The pitch, Zombieland zombie shooting VR game. It's you've heard a dime a dozen, but we're different. Zombieland, it's actually hot take. More of a racing game. It's a time trial, time crisis style, like get the fastest time on the course, accuracy, calm, adrenaline rush system, and got nominated for VR Game of the Year.
Congratulations.
It does for a VR game. It actually has positive reviews on Steam, unlike the rest of the VR games. Like genuinely, has good reviews on Steam. Actually, good.
This is pretty good. You know what? I thought it would be shit. But it's pretty good. So it's
that's kind of.
It's if anyone has a Quest or a Rift or any of the other sort of PC supporting headsets, give it a go. It's affordable price range, and it's a good old barrel of fun. And whenever a zombie pisses you off, you can blame me personally, because there's about a 60% chance that I put it there. So.
Don't do that. Don't say that. They won't hold you to it.
All right. Lucy, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
I'm Lucy. I don't do anything.
Yes, you do. You're going to school.
Yeah. I'm currently working on doing a world building degree.
Master's degree. Hello.
Well, masters. Yeah, world building masters.
Wait, what?
What
major is that?
That is the major, I guess. It's a weird system. We don't work on majors and minors in the UK.
Fair enough.
So you can actually be on Twitter at phlucm. I don't tweet ever. My Twitter bio gets updated every now and again. That's about it. I retweet cat things. That's literally it. So when I get a portfolio, my Twitter will become interesting. But until then, it's literally just me pictures of cats.
Retweeting cat pictures is a perfectly legitimate reason to follow.
Yeah, no, that's
I just want to put that out there.
At the minute, it's D&D content, vines, cat pictures, and like me getting like perturbed by some things I've seen online. That's it. That's literally it. That's all it is. Yeah, free Shavakti. There you go.
Yeah. So Lucy makes cool worlds, and can't wait to see more of them. Anton, who are you? What do you do?
Eventually.
What do you do? Where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter. It's wonton_. I linked it in the stream chat. I do a podcast with the games I run. It's called D5 Gamers. Yeah, I'll be tweeting about that probably soon. So, yeah, that's it.
Anton tells some very cool stories in existing and non-existing worlds. So the podcast is a fun listen. I actually listen to it while I'm working. So.
Yeah. The last adventure he ran, I had a lot of fun in. You get to hear me do a terrible Scottish accent. It's great.
We ran a pirate adventure for 21 sessions that just finished. I'm working on uploading them. 11 just got uploaded.
Woohoo!
So,
Yeah.
slowly doing those.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So yeah, that's us. We've been the Unnamed Few, plus our guest, Brewing Scribe. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on Sunday next week at 13:30, 1:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time. For you GMT folks, that's 6:30, right? Yeah. So yeah, we will be here for the second half of oh god, Soren feels this piece of music. We'll be here for the second half of The Lost Tales of Alweyr. I have fucked up my title. The Lost Chronicles of Alweyr.
You said second half, middle third is what you should say, right?
Actually, that's probably more
Second
accurate.
quarter.
Yeah. Second
decile.
Anyway, yes. So, we'll be back next week. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a great evening. Please wear your masks. Get vaccinated when you can. Please stay safe. Take care of each other. And if you can't be nice, fuck off. We will see you next week. Bye!
Yep. Cheers.
Bye.
Peace.
Right.